And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we got President Trump's historic peace deal over in Israel, Palestine, Gaza, Hamas, all that good stuff. A lot of hostages, prisoners, detainees, whatever you want to call them, got released on both sides. It's a great thing, but you know, some people gotta hate. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, Alec Baldwin, my oh my. Alec Baldwin is a piece of work. The only guy I know that can shoot two people on camera, beat it, and then the very next year just drive reckless in a regular residential area. Like, yeah, okay, garbage truck, I don't want to just wait behind you. I'm gonna zoom around you on the shoulder illegally, and then when I crash my car, I'm gonna blame you. The same way he blamed the armorer for the Rust incident, the same way he blames everybody else for anything that happens in his life. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Also, we get the federales going to Chicago, Memphis, Portland, a few other places. Some say it's targeted, some say it's racist, some say it's sexist, some say it's whatever. I say it's needed. I say it's about time, because these criminals have gotten completely out of control. There are quite a few things I have not discussed yet that we will discuss in this video, and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, now I'm seeing some stuff. Is everything good with the connection? Because earlier I was noticing that some of the videos are having a hard time being able to load when I'm trying to watch it. So hopefully everything's good and we are on the same page. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube sometimes. I saw right here, like you see right here on the screen, it says chat disconnected. I don't know what's happening with that. Hopefully everything's on the up and up, and we'll go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Okay, Stain Girl says the stream is currently working in Florida. Shrey says I'm good. Okay, I think we are good. Hey, Paul 48 says if California has a YouTube problem, blame Gavin. Yeah, I'm gonna blame him. That'd be the white man I blame right there, Gavin Newsom, for sure. That'd be who I blame. Elated says it was crazy earlier seeing you. Great at the moment. Oh, okay. Are we good? Monique says YouTube, IG, and Facebook been tripping lately. Yeah, it's been some issues. Hopefully it ain't no data center problem or nothing like that. It's such a high demand for all this content that we produce. Maybe these data centers are getting overwhelmed. And they're building those anywhere. They built them data centers, a lot of them in Northern Virginia. They're crazy carbon emitters. But carbon emission is not even nothing to worry about, really. The whole Green New Deal thing was a scam. It was a big scam. There's no reason to fear anything about any of that. It's not really a real thing. Carbon is not causing the earth to... It's not causing the earth to warm. The things that we do, you know, cows farting on the farm and driving cars, that's not, it's kind of arrogant of us to think that we, in our little productivity here, is altering the earth's weather pattern beyond the cyclical things the earth goes through all the time. Pardon me for the mic movement, but weather is more than just it's raining, it's snowing, it's sunny. It's a little bit deeper than that. You got cycles that last thousands of years. Okay, ages that last thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of years. But these things last for a while and then they're gone. And then it'll be the next thing they come. And it's a cycle. And you can't really change that as a human being. Your Ford F-150 pickup truck is not going to change. It's not going to change the magnetic north of the planet, which is what's happening right now and has been happening for a long time. Our planet has changes that we have no control over. And I think maybe the Green New Deal, beyond just being a scam, is a way to convince humans that we have more control than we think. At any moment, there could be a catastrophic situation that happens and it's a wrap. So our little cars and all that, listen, like I got 2 cars that's 8 cylinder. Okay. No turbocharged, straight naturally aspirated, brum, brum. And I rev it whenever I can. Okay. And I might do a cat delete just to be petty. But no, I mean, those cars are not causing the problem. We could talk about local pollution. We could talk about that. We could talk about the smoke getting in your lungs and whatnot, like how it was back in the day when you lived in the factory town. You had your windows open. You would get soot and ash and whatnot in your window. We could talk about that. But that's not causing the weather to change. There are cycles on this planet that we have no control over. And it is what it is. Shreep says, all just a money grab and scam. Mostly. Yeah, that's what it is. Green New Deal. Okay, Greta Thunberg. Okay, first she was Green New Deal. And then when that kind of became a little bit less popular, her and her parents, the groomers, whatever you want to call them, said, okay, now we're going to be pro-Palestine. Now that we got a peace deal in Palestine, what's it going to be next? Like, what's the next activist lane that she and Al Gore and all the rest of them? Al Gore was, did Al Gore invent the internet? I don't know. Al Gore has been all over this issue of climate for a long time. Back in the day, talking about acid rain. They don't talk about acid rain anymore. When I was a kid, like in the early 90s, for you young people out there especially, acid rain was a big thing. They made it seem like if you go outside and it's raining, you're going to melt into a pile of mush because the acid rain going to hit you. Talking about, the acid rain is defacing our monuments. I'm like, man, y'all tripping. And here we are 20-some years later. I've not heard about acid rain since like 1995. So I don't believe anything they say when it comes to the weather at all. Not in the least bit. Mauricio 91 says, I'm sorry, don't plants need carbon dioxide? Bill Nye told me. Plants do need carbon dioxide. They need the CO2. They need the CO2. Okay. And it said, 90% of the CO2 in the atmosphere comes from the ocean. And it doesn't come from what happens above. It happens from below. It's the natural earth movement, the cycles, the ebbs and flows that we cannot control. We're pretty arrogant and think we could control all that. We really are. Yeah, the ozone layer. I remember the ozone layer. The funniest thing that they told us, I don't know if I got told this. Maybe it might have been a black inner city thing. What they told us was that if you go out and spray cans outside, that's going to melt the ozone layer. I swear I mean, listen, when I say certain things that I experience, people are like, that happened to you? Maybe it's universal. Maybe it was just us. But they said that if you spray a can up in the atmosphere, or if you spray in like graffiti and stuff like that, that'll cause the ozone layer to be depleted in the atmosphere. Again, I've not heard that since the 90s either, about acid rain, about graffiti, because back then it was real popular to, tag up walls, hip hop, all this kind of stuff was young and it was cool, to be out there just doing that. And they said, nah, look, if you out there spraying graffiti, aerosol cans, if you spraying these aerosol cans, you spraying graffiti, you're going to kill the planet. That's what we were told. Freon, the spray cans, acid rain, all of that stuff is not talked about anymore. Not in the least bit. Okay. So yeah. And Nico says, but the Plymouth Rock is still at sea level. Exactly. Make that make sense. The more things change, the more they don't change. The more we say things change, the more they have not changed. Oh yeah, hairspray, that was something else. I feel like these are just things to control people. Okay, you women are using too much hairspray. It's causing medical problems. So since we can't convince you to stop and we can't make it illegal, let's just scare you away from using it altogether. Same thing with the graffiti. You can't outlaw spray paint because it has real application. So we're going to scare you and say that if you spray the spray paint, you're going to kill the ozone layer. So silly. TJ Jizzle says, grabbing some knowledge while it's hot. Can we get some mosquito deletions in Georgia, please? Hey, when I was in Virginia, I've not seen that out here. Maybe they do it, but when I was in Virginia, they used to spray for mosquitoes. Like you would always see a truck. You can hear the truck outside. Brrr, loud truck outside spraying for mosquitoes. Because our mosquitoes were crazy out in Virginia. I think I already told this story before about how we had a so I'm in Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm in Churchland. I'm going to Churchland High School for a little while before I went to Chesapeake. Churchland High School, we got a fire drill. So we're all outside the school. Now, this school was built on swampland, basically. They dug up swampland and built the school, put it right there. Now, during their fire drill, when we're outside in front of the school in the grassy area, it looked like it was raining from the ground up. But really what was going on, it was just mosquitoes rising from the grass as we stepped on it. It was like we disturbed their hive, and it was the whole grass. It was crazy. And the mosquitoes would be so big. I remember one time being in a hallway, like in the foyer type of area. Like, okay, you got a door. It's like a little landing and then another door. So I'm in this little area, this vestibule, whatever you want to call that. I'm in there and I see a mosquito. It bites me. I see it fly around with the blood on it. Like a little jet pack, little battery pack for me. And when you kill it, you're gonna have your blood on you. Like that, I've not seen too much of that out here. We got crane flies out here and the environment is different. But out there, I mean, it's just swamp and mosquitoes and water, and it's just a whole lot going on, man. So yeah, shout out to the mosquitoes. I don't miss them at all back in Virginia. Oh my goodness. Maxwell says, when I was a child, my friends and I would run through the mosquito clouds. Hey, Virginia, it was like that. It's to the point where if we were to have the little mosquito nets as children, it'd make sense. It was almost that bad. It was almost that bad. If you slept with a window open, God forbid a door open or something crazy like that, you're going to get ate to pieces. For real. Okay, yeah. But out here, we got them crane flies, and the crane flies eat the mosquitoes, so I've not really had a problem with them. And it's just a different environment as well. I thought when I first came out here, the crane flies were big mosquitoes, but nah, they eat the mosquitoes, and they friends. All we got here is like crane flies, stink bugs, beetles. It's roaches, but they don't be. They stay out. They be outside unless you just you live in the ghetto or something like that. But and sometimes I don't know. You might not be in the ghetto. Like if you go down to Atlanta, they had a rat in Lenox in the Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Okay, I am super good on that. But for the most part, it's cool. It ain't really no big deal. Keep your environment clean. Don't have a lot of food just laying around. Don't have no standing water in a moist area. You'll be good. And you probably don't have the issue with mosquitoes in a place like Arizona, a dry place like that. But then you got a problem with the extreme heat and them scorpions. Big scorpions in your house. You're looking like something prehistoric. In your foyer area, in your living room, you watching cartoons, you watching the news. All of a sudden, you seeing something from your history book pop out on you, right on your couch. I'm cool on that. Okay, I am good on that. Christopher says they love blood sugar and CO2. They got a lot of mosquitoes in Arizona for real. That's crazy. I wouldn't expect they'd be out there. That's crazy. Like I would expect them to be in a swampy region, a tropical, swampy, moisture, that type of, that's what I would expect for mosquitoes to be. And then plus standing water, how you going to have standing water in a place that's hot like that? I don't know. Maybe I don't know a lot. That's crazy. Ron says they need water to breathe with Pacific California. Yeah, because I know the water is kind of hard to come by in it. The water is most certainly hard to come by. Paul says, when younger, I went on a canoe trip, Boundary Water Canoe area in Minnesota, But on the way, we stopped and someone had a T-shirt, Minnesota State Bird mosquito. I like camping in a motel now. Yeah, because it's so many lakes. I would make that didn't make sense. But it said like 10,000 lakes. You got a bunch of opportunity for the mosquitoes to breed, and then you don't really have a lot of ways to spray for them or to kind of control them at all. It's going to be out there. Jane says solar flares cause Wi-Fi issues every October. Oh, okay. See, the more you know. I didn't even know that. Thank you, Jane, for the information. The Forgotten Pittsburgher says cows have more carbon emissions globally than cars. Absolutely. And really, like I was saying earlier, 90% of the CO2 emission come from the oceans, not from above, but from up underneath, things that humans are not doing. It's just the earth doing its own thing. The earth has its own schedule. And we're just trying to get penciled in. And we act like we're the ones writing the schedule. It's not like that. It's not like that. We're pretty much guests on this rock. The rock going to do what the rock going to want to do. And it ain't that much you can do to really change it. You can try to alter some things. They got these little machines and whatnot. But unless you can just change the magnetic north, unless you can alter the core, unless you can physically change the speed of the axis rotation, unless you could change the sun and alter that, because the sun got a lot of effect on us as well. Okay, because the sun has changes within itself, and any slight change in the sun can dramatically impact life on Earth, and you can't do nothing about it. You're guests on the rock. Enjoy your time while you're here. All right, but shout out to you guys. Christopher says the sun operates on a 12-year schedule from maximum to minimum. See, there you go, right there. Like, ain't no human being gonna, like, ain't no AI gonna go on the sun and just change that. I think AI is a bubble and it's gonna burst. AI can do some things, yes, but it can't do all of what it's being touted to do, and it can't do it for the price, because a lot of the AI functionality is being sold vastly undersold because it takes so much to produce. AI is very expensive. The water consumption alone is out of this world, and it needs drinking water, fresh drinking water. That's what it needs to really operate. And power. And the funniest thing is that a lot of your green energy people are now turning a blind eye. You got these big data centers with diesel generators consuming large amounts of drinking water, polluting local water for the residents. They don't care. They don't care. But then at the same time, they say, hey, you know what? If you drive a car that has 8 cylinders versus 6 with twin turbos, you're harming their environment. And then they put these little things on your vehicle. The worst feature in the world is the auto start and stop. I hate it. It's to the point where I just want to find a way to disable the feature. But they got it so tied into your vehicle, it's hard to disable that without harming your car. I almost want to trade my truck. I love my truck, my F-150, but that start stop feature is annoying. It's have to start your car and then push a button, or you forget to push the button and then I hate it. And you can't turn your wheel before it's stupid. But they say that's to save gas, to cut down on carbon emission. It's pointless. It makes no difference. Brian says, oh, okay, you're talking about AI videos. Oh, look, AI videos are just, the AI videos to me are purely just for entertainment, nothing else. And I don't even really find it entertaining for real. It's just kind of disruptive because it's meant to be looking realistic, and sometimes you kind of get fooled a little bit. But yeah, that's right, Ron Jones. It's a computer makes a lot of mistakes. That's all that it is. Before AI came about, there's a bunch of tasks that the computer itself took from humans. And it's been like that for a long time. There's always new technology that comes around that takes jobs from humans. Because at one point, we were a 90% agrarian society, 90% agrarian. All we did was work on the field, farm, whether you black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. We were agrarian. Now, I don't know what we call us now, consumer. The farming ain't the big thing no more. The productivity has kind of left us a little bit. We still got some productivity, but not as much as in previous years. So I think now we're a consumer economy. There's always been an adjustment on what we're able to do in this place to make a living. Always. Yeah, them data farms are a lot, TJ Jizzle, for sure. Observer says the book of Revelation, also known as the book of the Apocalypse or the Apocalypse of John, is canonically or canic. I know canon. Canonical. I ain't gonna try to pronounce that. It's canon, the last book of New Testament. Okay, maybe I was missing the context on that one. All right. We were like the Amish. That's right. We were like the Amish. That's what we were. And then we embraced new technologies and new ways of doing things, and things changed. Now, the Amish, they did not embrace everything new. I mean, they embrace some things new, but mostly they don't embrace anything new. And it works for them. They have a society. They've been around for a long time. They ain't going nowhere. And you know, the thing about the Amish is that they have skills that a lot of regular American people don't have. And those skills are not going to be replaced by a machine anytime soon. They've been building things, building homes, building whatever they want since how many hundreds of years now? And they, year after year, it's always the same thing. And they seem to be doing pretty well. But shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Hopefully everything's good. A-Train says you can barely watch. YouTube has been down. Yeah, I think YouTube has some problems today or within the, past few hours or whatever the case may be. But I'm glad you guys who are able to watch are watching. And if you like what you're hearing, if you enjoy the content and generally know what to do, get a video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, shout out to the sponsors. You guys, of course, for being the first sponsor for watching, but also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or go to patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to my merch website, Anthony B. Logan, ABLmerch.com. That is ABLmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ABLmerch.com. I'm reading some of the comments. I got distracted. I want to respond to one about Rumble. People ask me about Rumble, but don't nobody really watch Rumble. I've been there for months, and nobody really watches it. Like, I promote it sometimes. The link is in my description. How many subs do I have on Rumble at this moment? I have 35 followers. 35? Really? I don't even know how that's possible. I think I had more than that. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I got more than that. I guess it's a glitch. I have almost 2,000 followers, 1,940. 1,940. I don't know why it says I have 35. But it's kind of like the videos might get 500 views, 400 views. You might get a video that does 1,500. That'd be really good. But if I'm not getting views on the regular pre-recorded content, then why would I stream over there? It's like a waste of time. Let's get people to watch the regular content and I upload there. Whenever I do my regular long form videos, I put it on Rumble as well. I put my regular long form video on YouTube, on Rumble, Instagram, and Facebook. The same video. And YouTube gets the most, Rumble gets the least. And then Facebook, Instagram is kind of neck and neck. It all depends on what audience is interested in what particular topic. But Rumble is always at the. But they're good. They're a good company from what I'm able to see. They reached out to me. They wanted me to upload on their channel, on their platform, but ain't nobody really watching. That's all. But shout out to Rumble though. I hope that they can pick up more steam. I'm gonna keep on uploading there. I ain't gonna give up on them, but we'll see. We shall see. If you guys enjoy Rumble, I'm over there. If you want to watch my YouTube video, my long form stuff, check me out on Rumble. You can follow me. Matter of fact, hold on. Since I'm right here talking about it, Let's go ahead and just show you the page, just so we are on the same page. Okay, there we go. Okay, you see where it says I got 35 followers? I got a little bit more than that. I got 1,940, but there it is right there. I'm verified. So follow me on Rumble. My long form videos are right there on the page. Okay, you can see my views. Look at them right there, 1,530. Okay. But anyway, that's the Rumble. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each long form video I produce, I write an article, and in each article, I got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, excuse me, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page. Hold on. I got like a piece of dust right there on my vocal cord. Hold on. That's crazy. A piece of dust just didn't want to leave. But anyway, all my links right there on the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not. If the email does not match what's on my contact page, which is contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. If you email me and not respond, that'd be the only way that I contact you. I'm not going to hit you up first talking about Bitcoin, Forex. I'm not going to do it. If that's happening, you are being scammed. It's not me. Do not get them any kind of money. Don't go to 7-Eleven, get no Apple iTunes gift cards. Don't do any of that stuff. And most certainly don't write me a letter talking about, hey, ABL, is this you? No, it's not me. It is not me. It's going to be a guy who sounds like this. And he's going to take all your money. He's going to take everything you have. He will strip you naked. You'd be finished. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Let's get to some clips here. Okay, before we even get into anything, I want to show a trailer for a movie. This is not a sponsor. This is not an ad. I just want to see it myself personally. I've not even seen the trailer. I want to see it with y'all. For Young Washington, about the life of a young George Washington. Now, George Washington was the best. We can talk about slavery, but as far as American leaders, he was the best. He was the best president that we've had, in my humble opinion, George Washington. But let's watch some of this. Whenever you're ready.
What happened, Washington? All those bullet holes in your jacket? How are you alive?
I don't know.
You have no military service.
And it's just around the bend.
You are a boy. You are not British, yet they send you to speak for them. So that when you fail, they'll have someone to blame.
Young Washington, you lost in the New World.
Who does own this land, if not the one who has the will to tame it? You do not want to start a war.
Well, what do? We fight! Hold your ground! There is no retreat!
What are you called?
George Washington.
There's a new world coming.
Help make this the #1 movie on America's 250.
Yes, I'm going to go watch it. Maybe some kind of crowdfunding. I don't know what they got going on, but I'm going to go watch it. So July 4th, 26th, I'm in there. I'm in the theater first day. I'm watching it. So yeah, shout out George Washington. And, you know, it's good to see period pieces and also someone in a way you don't normally see him. When you see him normally, George Washington, he's the older version with the, you know, with the, let's see the young man who became George Washington that we know of today on Mount Rushmore and everything else. That'd be great. Now, Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, was like George Washington. Some may think I'm like I've said it before. Some think I'm exaggerating. Nah, he was like that. If you ever met Charlie and you knew him, you knew he could do whatever he wanted to do in this world. Anything he wanted to do. And President Trump gave Charlie a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom. And this is him at the White House and Charlie's widow, Erica. He's presenting it to her.
On September 10th, 2025, at age 31, Charlie Kirk was assassinated while addressing a group of students. The United States honors him as a martyr for truth and freedom. On September 10th, 2020.
There we go. Yes, I did. I knew Charlie. Charlie was my friend. I met him. I seen him. I've been around Charlie many times. Shout out Charlie. R.I.P. Now, here is Medal Up Close. And they said this was the first one that had the cross engraved on it. I'm not sure if that's true or false. But here's Erica presenting it up close. Okay. You can see it right there. Let me see if I can get you a good shot of it. So it says Charles James Kirk. And the cross right there. And around it, it says Presidential Medal of Freedom. If you can see that right there. And he deserved it. He really did. He deserved it, not just because he was assassinated, but because he was really like that. He was really that kind of person who would have gotten that kind of award anyway. Some people, you just know it. When you talk to them, when you meet them, you just know who they are. They may not be that person yet, but you see it in them. And he was one of those people. All right, now. There's a revival happening in the country. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but we got some data. Okay, so there's a Christian revival happening all over the USA. Here's some numbers you can take a look at.
A Christian revival across the country. Bible sales increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%. That increase since 2019. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019. Our next, a Christian revival.
So there you go. You know, I think that's definitely something people are doing consciously. They want to be more religious. They're looking for more of a purpose than what they thought they had. And that's what they're going to do. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of, you guys ever seen Book of Eli? You're seen that movie? Well, I know it's been 20 years. I don't want to spoil it, but the whole thing of the movie was to get a Bible to a printing press because there were no more Bibles in the world that existed. There was no more Bibles. And if you had one, it was like having the rarest mineral, the rarest thing on planet Earth. It's like you're the only one who has a oil field in the world that needs oil. That's how valuable it was. So yeah, shout out to the Bible. I think even if you're not Christian, even if you're not religious, the Bible is very important to read. Very, very important to read. Yes, absolutely. Great movie. Fantastic movie. Book of Eli. I watched that recently. Very, very good movie. And then it was like at the end, like a little twist. If you're not seen it, I'm going to spoil it. I already kind of halfway spoiled it, but I don't want to give you everything in the movie. But the twist was cool. I appreciated that. It was really, really good. Very good. You're right about that, Mr. Boots Malone. If you have not seen Book of Eli, it is on YouTube right now for free, I believe. I think it's free. I saw it free, but I have YouTube Red. I don't know if that makes a difference. It's probably free for everybody, so go check it out if you haven't. Now, we got Trump freeing the hostages, okay? We got Trump freeing the hostages who had been underground since October 7, 2023, 2 years. And then there were some Palestinians who had been freed as well, like almost 2,000 Palestinians who had been freed. So this is an historic peace deal. Now, of course, there were, hold on, before I get to this, I said about the peace deal that I hope that it sticks, but fighting in this part of the world is always going to happen. You cannot prevent it. It's going to happen. Since the beginning of time, the beginning of recorded history, the beginning of civilization, they've been fighting right there, and it ain't going to stop. Whether it's the Israelis who came from Europe who are right there, whether it's the Arabs, whether it's the Persians, whether it's the Africans, whoever it is, they're going to be fighting right there. Period. Now, after the peace deal and you have hostage release, you had Hamas carrying out public executions of their rivals. It ain't the Israelis they shooting, it's each other. Like I said, the fighting will never stop. But before I get into that, let's just watch the initial issue, the initial thing. This was 9 a.m. their time. This is like 2 something in the morning. I saw this right when that happened. I was still up. So the first few hostages got released. Then after that, everybody else got released.
Right now, I'm just getting a message. We are being told that the hostages, the 7 living hostages who have been released, are now in the hands of the IDF. They have been handed over to the Israeli Defense Forces, and now it'll just be a matter of minutes when they are then taken to that military base where they will see their families for the first time. They've had some telephone contact. We're told that the hostages, all 7 of them, are able to walk on their own. That's a good sign because many of them, John, as we've spoken, have been held underground in those tunnels in the dark, starved of food for long periods of time. And so the fact that they're walking is a good sign at this. Right.
There we go. So that's when it first happened, when the news first dropped. And ever since then, there's been, I think, 20 hostages released, the living ones. And then there were some who had died and their bodies had been given back to the Israelis. And there were a bunch of Palestinians released to Gaza, Hamas, or whoever was receiving them. I think they said some went to Egypt. I don't know how that really works. But anyway, that is what Trump was able to do, the peace deal. Now, like I said, there's videos on the internet, and I can't really show it. I'm going to just show you like this little screenshot. Okay, I'm going to show you a screenshot. So what you have right here, again, I can't show the video because obviously you can't do that on YouTube. I ain't trying to get the FBI at my door, but they carried out public executions of each other, not the Israelis, but Palestinian on Palestinian, okay, settling old scores publicly as the crowd cheers on. So the Free Palestine people, where are they at? Hey, the Free Palestine crowd is quiet as a church mouse. Quiet. Where y'all at? You've been screeching and hollering for so long for this to happen. And then when it does happen, your Palestinians are shooting and deleting each other. Is that a thing you're going to speak out against? Okay. Or is it going to be the Jews' fault? They're fighting each other. Like I said, it don't really matter who is right there. They're always going to fight. So it is what it is. You could say Free Palestine till the cows come home, but that's not going to stop them from doing what they've been doing forever. Now, of course, Trump does not get the credit for the ceasefire, for the hostage release from some people. Those of us that have sense, we give them the credit. But those who don't have sense do not give them the credit.
I will not be celebrating that Donald Trump ended the war in Gaza, because he didn't. If anybody deserves to be recognized and praised for their efforts in ending this conflict, which is still not entirely ended, it is the people of Palestine. The people of Palestine have relentlessly fought for decades for liberation to still not entirely have it. So no, I will not be praising Donald Trump or his administration for ending the war, ending the conflict, getting the ceasefire deal, because it wasn't him. It was not Donald Trump that did this. It was the perseverance and the persistence of the Palestinian people that got us to where we are, that got them to where they are. It is their efforts, their loss, their pain, their struggles that have got them to this point. So no, I will not be acknowledging or giving any type of credit to Donald Trump and his administration, because they don't deserve it. The people who deserve credit and love and support are those of Palestine.
You are just a hater. You are a big time hater. Everyone knows that Trump is the reason why the dude went through. Without Trump, it wouldn't have happened. There have been other presidents who could have done what Trump has done. I mean, look, they were there for how long under Joe Biden, and what happened? Nothing. There have been other presidents who could have intervened and prevented what happened from happening on October the 7th. Nobody did anything. Trump is a guy who came out and was able to accomplish what others were unable to accomplish. And it's crazy because a lot of the left, even the Hillary Clinton, give President Trump the credit he deserves on this. But some people have been so brainwashed by mainstream media, the leftist politicos, that it doesn't matter. You can show them that Trump signed a deal. You can hear from Benjamin Netanyahu, the Hamas leaders, everybody, that Trump is the reason why it happened, and you still won't believe it because of your brainwashing. It's pretty bad. It's pretty pathetic, but whatever. You know, that's pretty much how they operate. That is how they operate. Okay. Now, you know what? Trump derangement syndrome can blind you like it did the previous young lady, but it can also force you to do a thing that's actually pretty good for you. Like, I don't know. I saw a meme. Hold on. I got to show you guys this meme right quick, just to kind of give you the context of what I'm talking about. How TDS can be weaponized for good and for bad. Just like the whole Tylenol thing. Remember that? Where pregnant women were munching on Tylenol like it was Flintstone vitamins, going to the hospital. Somebody died. Okay. And then you get stuff like this. Hey, Bobby, tell them inhaling gasoline causes autism. Okay. Hey, don't inhale gasoline. It'll cause autism. I'll show Trump, Orange Man bad. Let me inhale the gasoline. Okay, that's kind of how people are. Okay. Now, it can also work in the reverse. TDS can force you to do a thing that's actually pretty good for you. Let's watch.
You're boycotting the United States money. Don't spend it. Don't use it. Don't make it. Just do nothing, like me. I'm just here at the zoo, doing absolutely nothing. And I got here for free and brought my own food and water, and I'm not spending shit. This guy agrees. Fuck the United States government, and fuck Donald Trump, and fuck Israel. See, he's a mad hater. Look at him. He's on the right side of history, aren't you, buddy? Yeah, you are. Looking fine, too. Okay, lad. I totally think we could probably be friends. What about you? Oh, maybe not. Okay. You haven't heard, we are boycotting.
Okay, so you hate Trump so much. You have so much TDS. He forced you to go outside and touch grass. I mean, that right there, I think that's a victory. I'm going to take that as a W. You went outside, you touched grass, you didn't overspend, you didn't spend any kind of money. You know, that was the thing at a certain point back in the day. We should just go outside and just do activities, be in nature. Okay, go to a zoo, go to a farm, go do something other than being upset, triggered at Donald Trump, trying to do crazy things, touch a little bit of grass. So I'm glad that TDS reverse psychology has worked for you. Hey, What Trump should do is get on TV and say, you know what, going outside, touching grass, everything positive causes autism, and then see how many of them go out there and do the thing that's positive. Okay, weaponized Trump derangement syndrome can be good for you. So shout out to her for touching grass. That is a good thing. It's a W for us. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, let's go to Trump, talking about this whole thing with the weaponized prosecution, all this kind of stuff, because people are accusing him of using the DOJ to get revenge, retribution, to get back at all his enemies, to wrong them as he has been wronged. That's the allegation. Okay, but let's just get some context to that, shall we? And by the way, hold on, you guys probably can't see him, but right next to Trump is Kash Patel. And hey, Kash, I like Kash. He's doing a pretty good job. Hey, where's Dan Bongino at? Did he quit? Like, what happened? I've not seen Dan Bongino since that little incident he had, that little mental breakdown or whatever that was. But Kash Patel is out there on the front line making it happen. So shout out to him.
The full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement. What do you think the committee will find out, Mr. Smith?
I think it was the worst weaponization of a political opponent in the history of the world, let alone this country. And I hope that everybody's, they're involved in it. I'm not. I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that she should be looked at very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to do. If we don't have fair elections in this country, we're not going to have a country. And I've said it from the beginning, fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press, because if you don't have fair press, it's very tough. And
let's pause right there. The press, I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. The press has become a mockery, a shell of its former self. I said it before on this channel. You can watch the press to get factual information about certain things, about specific things that they write, because if they write things that are factually incorrect and it's proven that they knew it was incorrect, they can be held liable legally. But beyond that, their rhetoric, their narrative, when they opine on certain things, don't even listen to it, because it's most usually a lie.
We've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now, we do take people into our country legally, but 0 people. But, you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, I'm, in theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else. But I hope they're looking at political crime, because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well. And when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know. How do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit. And now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know. But that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago.
That Mar-a-Lago raid was crazy. And then they didn't even find anything. Remember the raid, what they came up with? Hold on. I got to find those pictures. The stuff they had on the ground. Oh, hold on. I got it. Here we go. Remember this? That's all they had. It's like, really? And then they put stuff on top of it. Like, they staged the scene. They staged this. This was not what they actually found. all these folders on top, the top secret, this, that, and the third. They put that there afterward. And then they just happen to position this box with the frames in it to be in the shot. It's like, that's all you got from the raid? Really? It's BS. We have a weaponized justice system. Everybody knows that it is. And it's not just Trump. It's a lot of people. It's whoever gets on the bad side of the powers that be, whoever they may be. You get on their bad side, okay, now we're going to use the system against you. We'll get you on a ridiculous crime, a nothing burger. We'll raid your house, make you spend a bunch of money, a bunch of time in court, all for nothing. All the cases against Trump is all, that's right, Marta, all BS. All the cases against Trump just got dropped or they wound up being a big nothing burger. So when they're talking about retribution and stuff like this, I'm like, man, come on. You can't really talk. There's something you can really say. Okay, and you know what? Hold on. I kind of want to skip ahead a little bit because I want to get to it a little bit later, but I'm going to get to it right now. Have you guys seen this chat they're talking about, the so-called racist group chat from Republicans? Okay, now let's look at, okay, hold on. What I want to do first is show you what's happening. Okay, hold on. Matter of fact, let me show you an article. Okay. Just so you get the general idea. Okay, boom, here go Politico. So here we go. Here's the thing. So this is elite group chat of young GOP leaders, quote unquote. Quote, I love Hitler, unquote. Leak message expose young Republicans racist chat. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. When do we bring that side out? You're giving nationals too much credit and expecting the Jew to be honest. Are you going to do whatever it takes? You can see the things here. Okay. The R word, they love the watermelon people, about black people, monkeys playing ball, stuff like this. Now, for me, people are asking me about my opinion. They say, is this racist, ABL? Are you going to condemn this? What I see, let me tell you just what I see, honestly. This looks like the kind of stuff that a 12-year-old white boy would say on Xbox Live when you about to play Call of Duty. It looks like juvenile type of stuff because these are very young people. I'm not saying it's okay, but it's not that deep. It ain't that deep. Listen to me very well. I get called the N-word every single day on the internet. I'll never say nothing about it because it ain't that deep. You know, it's not that deep. Stuff like this is really nothing. Especially since you got guys like Jay Jones running for Attorney General of Virginia talking about he wants to kill his political opponent and his children. Abigail Spanberger was on a debate stage trying to become the governor of Virginia as a Democrat. They're asking her, hey, do you disavow your running mate for saying that about his political opponent, Jason Miyares? Abu Dhabi. Joe Biden got on TV and said, hey, if you don't know whether you're voting for me or for Trump, you're not black. If you don't know whether you're voting for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. He said that on TV as an 80-year-old man. We're talking about group chat texts from people that's like 25, like This is the kind of stuff that you would see from a Nick Fuentes. And a Nick Fuentes, I see as a young white male loser. Someone who is not fully become an adult yet, but he's like 28. That's what I see. I don't see anything that's threatening or anything that's that bad. Totally honest. That's how I feel. And if the left, especially, if they're offended, my question would be, why weren't they offended at what Joe Biden said? Why weren't they offended at what Jay Jones said out there in Virginia? Why weren't they offended? Why weren't they offended when all these Democrats were celebrating Charlie Kirk being assassinated on TV? Celebrating it, laughing and joking in the streets, cheering. TMZ. Hey, when Charlie got shot and it happened live while TMZ was watching news, they were cheering. That's okay though, right? Those same people are now talking about this list being deplorable and they need to get fired and everything else. The hypocrisy is crazy. I don't think it's a big deal. I just don't really see how it's a big deal. And if it is a big deal, then the things that I mentioned should also be a big deal. But if they're not, then we're just kind of playing games. We're just trying to use things as a political weapon against each other. We're not really being serious. But check it out. JD Vance said, this is far worse than anything said in the college group chat. Oh, hold on. Let's pause before I get to that. He's referencing what Jay Jones said. Before I read what JD Vance said, let's read what Jay Jones said. And again, Jay Jones is a Democrat in Virginia running for Attorney General of Virginia on the same ticket with Abigail Spanberger, who's trying to become the governor of Virginia. Because, in Virginia, you cannot run back-to-back gubernatorial campaigns. So Glenn Youngkin can only do one term at a time. He can run again after Spanberger or hopefully Winsome Earl Sears becomes governor, but he cannot run right now. Anyway, Jay Jones said, hold on. Well, someone was texting him and said, you weren't simply asking questions and you know it. Jay Jones, I genuinely was. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. The person responds, you weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. He responds, yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. That's Jay Jones running for Attorney General right now. And then JD Vance says, this is far worse than anything said in a college group chat. And the guy who said it could become the Attorney General of Virginia. I refuse to join the pearl clutching when powerful people call for political violence. There we go. Exactly. I agree. And there goes some of the stuff right there. All right. And that is Jay Jones, the guy running for Attorney General. And you see the Abigail Spanberger sign right behind him. That is his running mate. Now let's go to a picture of these guys. Okay. These are the guys right here. Look at these guys. Okay. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the words, the N word with the hard R. Ooh. 12-year-old white boy Xbox. And then he used that like a dozen, a lot of times in the chat, over a dozen times in the chat. Look at this guy's face though. Look at his, you could tell you're dealing with adults that are still kind of like children, and they'll grow out of this. If they want any kind of success, they can't continue to be adult toddlers. Bobby Walker says he's a vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans, referred to sexual assault as epic. I don't know the context. Peter Guenta, who was at the time the chair of the New York State Young Republicans, wrote in a message sent in June that everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. Okay. That's the controversy. What do y'all think? Is it justified controversy? Must he got to be held accountable? Must we condemn them? Or do you agree with me that it ain't really, it's kind of like, I'm just not really moved. I'm not moved. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not moved. Okay. I know what that is. That's just like immature little stuff. And I wonder how young they are. These guys look like they're about 18 years old. Between 18 and no older than 25, 26. Okay. That's kind of what I see. But Joe Biden was 80 years old and got on TV and said, if you don't know whether you vote for me or for Trump, you're not black, and it was fine. That was not racist at all. Hey, I know about roaches. Roaches? Okay, you hanging out with black kids, and when you say, hey, man, I know about roaches. I'm from the hood, too. Corn Pop was a bad dude. That was fine. So I don't want to hear it. Until we condemn what he said, then let's not even talk about that group chat. And by the way, the person who leaked it was a guy by the name of Gavin Wax. If you guys know what that is, I've seen Gavin Wax on the internet, I suppose, but I don't know who he is. But he's the one who leaked it. I'm not sure why he did it. I was reading that it was some kind of internal beef with young Republicans. I don't know what's going on, but that's what's happening. Okay. AMG says fat makes people look younger. That's an aging secret. Oh, is that right? If you fat, you look younger. Well, why does whatchamacallit look so old? JB Pritzker. He don't look to be too young to me. You know, that fat ain't doing no, you know, the Peter Griffin look is not making them look younger, in my humble opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, shout out to Peter Griffin. Oh, and then here's something else. Ketanji Brown Jackson referring to blacks as kind of disabled. That's fine, right? Totally fine. Oh, she's black. She's a Supreme Court justice. We love her. Oh, okay, let's watch some of this.
I guess I'm thinking of it, of the fact that remedial action, absent discriminatory intent, is really not a new idea in the civil rights laws. And my kind of paradigmatic example of this is something like the ADA. Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities. And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings. And it didn't matter whether the person who built the building or the person who owned the building intended for them to be exclusionary. That's irrelevant. Congress said the facilities have to be made equally open to people with disabilities if readily possible. I guess I don't understand why that's not what's happening here. The idea in Section 2 is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system.
Since we made a way for disabled people to be able to access the voting systems, why can't we do that with black people? Did you see what you're saying here? She's equating being black to being disabled. That's fine though, right? Ketanji Brown Jackson, you're a black Supreme Court justice. All right. Okay, look, man, I'm just saying, I'm all about being consistent, and I don't like when there's inconsistency. You can't clutch pearls on one thing that said, but a thing that's worse than that, you just totally ignore. That's, to me, that's not being consistent. You got to be the same way all across the board, in my humble opinion. That's just how I feel. Okay, now, also, what I want you to do is, we got to have the correct information. This is CNN. This is Keith Boykin. I've seen him quite a bit doing these hits, and I don't know why they keep bringing these guys on. Why they bring guys like that on? I think they want to get low info guys to be like punching bags, because you're going to hear something that he said about the Republican Party that is verifiably untrue. Let's watch some of this, shall we?
I'm glad to see a number of Republicans step up and condemn them as well, because they're terrible. But I do think to say that this somehow justifies that Jay Jones did nothing wrong and should still be the nominee for Attorney General.
You just did exactly the same thing that J.D. Vance did, except for the fact that you denounced the words. But you immediately pivoted to...
I wouldn't have brought him up if you weren't talking about it.
But you immediately pivoted to a Democrat instead of focusing on the fact that this is a pattern. The saddest thing about this story is that it was not the least bit surprising to me. I mean, I don't think anyone who I know who's familiar with where the Republican Party has been going the past decade or so is the least
Hitler or fascist.
Well, J.D. Vance literally called Donald Trump Hitler. What are you talking about? J.D. Vance said that himself. J.D. Vance called Donald Trump Hitler.
Kristen, and also Ben, as we've played multiple times here, Trump has repeatedly called his Democratic opponents fascists. So that argument does not hold.
And there's a whole history of racism in the Republican Party. It started in 19...
You guys had slavery. We were against it.
Okay, let me
The Democratic Party literally was the party of slavery. So let's not act like there's not a history. If you want to talk history, slavery is the Democratic Party.
Why don't we just listen to you then? Tell us about black history.
On that one, every American should be able to tell you about. You don't have to be black to say that the Democratic Party was in favor of slavery, the party of slavery.
Ben, you don't know what you're talking about. Let me just say
I do. It wasn't the Republican Party.
Let me just make one note because
So yeah, shout out to my man for correcting them, for telling them the reality. Like the Republican Party, the Republican Party was started in 1854. The very first president, Abraham Lincoln, freed the slaves. The Republican Party started as an anti-slavery party. The Democrats were always the ones in favor of slavery, and they still are today. That's why they have the migrant crisis. That's the same type of, the same energy, the same thought process is behind the illegal aliens coming in as it was with slavery. Slaves were low-cost, cheap labor that was easily exploited and controlled. The migrants, it's the same thing, but there's certain laws in the way. You can't do it the same way you did it back in slavery. You can't, like, have them born in slavery, bind them to the plant. You can't do that anymore. You got to go about it a little bit differently. And what Democrats have done, in essence, in my humble opinion, is loot the taxpayer to pay for this easily controlled and cheap labor. It's cheap to them, but we end up paying for it. We say, you know what, no more, it's enough, let's stop. And then they want to say, oh, you guys are racist, all this, that, and the third. But that is not working anymore. That little game plan, a little shtick, it ain't working. We're like, you know what, nah, we're not falling for that anymore. We're done. So yeah, shout out to the illegal aliens. You got to go back. You must go back. And it's okay. Don't worry about it. It'll be totally fine. Now, someone may think that the illegal aliens shouldn't go back. And this certain someone is on the right. Have you guys seen this from Marjorie Taylor Greene out here in North Georgia? Not her district is like right there. I could pretty much throw a stone, and that's her district. Good people out there, hardworking people out there. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know. We're going to watch this, and I want you guys to really tell me your opinion about it.
As a conservative and as a business owner in the construction industry and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that. Right. So, and I'm going to get pushback on that, but I'm just living in reality from here on out. Yeah. And if anybody's mad at me for saying the truth, then I'm sorry.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen, our next president. Sorry, JD Vance. Well, I mean, there's people are saying it. I go to dinner parties.
Yeah, I heard you.
Well, by the way,
I heard you on Joe Rogan. As a conservative.
All right. So what do y'all think? Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, what you don't understand is, maybe you do understand it, but the issue with what you're talking about is that the migrants, there's pros and cons, and the pros help them but don't help us. Not really. The migrants are here for cheap labor. That's the bottom line, cheap labor. And since they're desperate, they're more likely to show up and all this kind of stuff. You're taking advantage of people in vulnerable situations. And there's also those who come over here who are willing to work for next to nothing, because to them, it's a lot. When they send it back to their country of origin, it's a lot more than it is worth here. Americans don't have that luxury to go back to a country of origin. We're from here. I've been in America for 300 years, minimum. Probably since the beginning, 1619 Project in Virginia, where I'm from, where my whole family on both sides is from the first Virginia. We're from Virginia before it became West Virginia, before Virginia was part of the USA, when it was still the Kingdom of Great Britain. We've been here since then. We don't have anywhere else to go. This is it. This is right here. This is it. So, yes, they're cheaper. Yes, they are probably more desperate, therefore more likely to show up. But they're taking employment and money away from us. Not just money when it comes to the job, but also money when it comes to the taxes that they cost us. Housing as well. Housing is a big issue. You got a housing shortage. If you deported 20 million illegal aliens, maybe there might not be a housing shortage. And when you do get housing, it's going to be inflated because of all the illegal aliens over here with all their money. living 25 deep to one house on the floor, lowering the standards for American citizens. It has a big domino effect. People like Marcella Green are not really realizing. Maybe she does realize it and doesn't really care. She's right. Is she right? Is she right, Sound Mixer? Because, listen, somehow we were able to be afloat without 40 million migrants coming in 2020, 2024. Somehow we were able to be afloat. Somehow we were afloat before then. And you're talking about building homes. Who are the homes being built for? If you got 20 million illegal aliens and we got a housing shortage, who are the new homes that the migrants are building being built for? Think about that for it. They're building their own homes. They're building their own homes that they're going to live in. It's not going to be you and I. Either they're building homes for themselves or they're building homes for the uber rich, not you. MAGA's falling apart. No, it's not. Ain't no falling apart. You can have differences of opinion. We're not uniform one way all the time like the Democrats are. Democrats tell you anything just to be able to get their agenda. They don't care. They'll lie to you. They'll cheat. They'll steal. They're treacherous people. But we have more varied opinions. We on the right are more varied in our opinions and beliefs than the left are, because the left have that communistic singularity type of mind state, while we are more in the area of innovation. Your Elon Musk and whatnot. That's why he's on our side, because he's an innovator. The Democrats are just following orders from the people up high, whoever they may be. I ain't talking about nobody in heaven. I'm talking about people that are like the puppet masters. But we are the innovators. Therefore, we're going to have different opinions. It ain't going to always be the same all the time. Okay? That's just not what it is. Cope Talker says, most people can't even start a lawnmower. But you know what? If we can't start a lawnmower, what does that point to? That points to a problem with the education system. You see, America is not investing what it should be into the education of its own citizenry. And we can't keep relying upon foreign labor. This was how Rome fell, because there were so many slaves in the country competing with regular citizens for jobs. When you got that going on, when you're trying to like add numbers externally through migration, that is a sign of a collapsing society. Now, some say maybe it's over with and so what, just let it burn. And some say we can save it. If you want to save it, I don't think importing a bunch of illegal aliens or migrants or whatever you want to call them will do the job. All it's going to do is just prolong the inevitable. You're going to kind of just go, it's going to be a slow slide down to the crash and burn. If you can innovate and do new things and get your people back on track, you can reverse the damage. Some may say the damage has been done and you can't do too much. We'll see. We shall see. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And as far as for me, I do my own lawn care. I just did a lawn renovation. Okay. I did everything by hand. I tore up my grass in the front. I got 5 cubic yards topsoil to put on top to even it out. I got a new tree, planted that. I got new shrubs, planted those by myself. 41 years old. Now, granted, I got pretty good genetics. I'm in pretty good shape. But if I was young, especially, oh my God, listen, if I'm 18 years old right now, if I'm in high school, really, if I'm in high school, I'm landscaping right now. If I'm 14 and I got a lawnmower and a shovel, I'm getting money. You hear me? Because I'm physically strong. I'm 6 foot 240 and at 14 years old. I get a lawnmower and a shovel, I'm out there getting money. I'm talking about money like you are working a regular 9 to 5 like a regular adult at 14. And these skills are not hard to do, but one thing we got to do is teach it. When I was in high school, we had these classes that would teach you how to do these things. Okay, my favorite class, wood shop. You know how to use the saws, you know how to hammer boards, and ultimately what we did was we would frame sheds. That was so fun. I enjoyed it. We should be doing that. And once you can take that class at like 14, 15, at that point, you're able to go out there and start making money independently. You don't got to try to find a job, have somebody hire you, go out there and get money. Girlfriend Gunn says, my lawn boy is 14, is a hard worker. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Had I known then what I know now, oh my gosh. I would have been making six figures at age 14. Real talk. I had so much energy and I'm so strong. Summertime especially, man, please. I'll be out there all day. Sun up to sundown, working, going hard. So yeah, I mean, we need to educate kids though on that. We got to do it, because if we not, then I don't really know what we're gonna do. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, EM says that it's rare now. You can't find a team to shovel the snow or do lawn work, even with pay. What I'm seeing right now is a lot of young people going back to work. Real young, like teenagers working. I'm seeing that a lot more now. I'm seeing the young guys out here with these lawnmowers. I'm seeing it. And I think that is because the young kids realize that college and the 9-to-5 job may not be as attainable as it was in previous years. Maybe their parents are doing a good job telling them, hey, you got to go out there and work because this is what it's going to be. This is what it is right now. I'm seeing that change. I've definitely noticed that. A lot more young people working. Okay, because you go to like fast food, you go to grocery stores. A lot of times you see older people in there, but now a lot, like I'm talking about 16-year-olds. I'm like, very good. Very good. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That helped me out tremendously. Now, this is a moment from JD Vance to go back to JD. A lot of you guys told me about this, about how he got cut off on, what was that? Was it PBS? Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Or ABC, 60 Minutes, one of those. So Stephanopoulos, the former Bill Clinton White House aide, cut him off. Let's watch some of this, shall we?
I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Just shutting them off. Now, the whole thing with Tom Homan, it's really nothing. It's really nothing burger, because I don't know, stuff like that happens, but it's not publicized. It's not really a big deal, because when you're talking about DC, we're talking about the things that go on. It's okay. Put it to you this way. When you have Project Veritas out here exposing people, he's being criticized for it because things like that happen, but they don't want nobody to say nothing. It's always, again, it's a consistency. If you're mad about what Tom Homan allegedly did, there's a bunch of tapes of people admitting certain crazy things to Project Veritas that kind of go ignored. We see it, but nothing happens as a result. So nothing burger. But you just want to say that and then not give him the chance to defend himself. You kind of want to brush him off. You're controlling the narrative to make them look like the criminals and you guys as the innocent children and do nothing wrong. That's why mainstream media sucks. Again, when you read in the paper, you're able to get often factual information. Sometimes it's wrong and they retract, but usually it's factual because they can't put out fake stuff when it's written. But when they say certain things, they're able to say it in a way that can sound like something that it's not. And then they can put their own spin on it, and their attitude can project a certain feeling that they want you to have, which is trying to craft a narrative in your brain. It'd be different if you just read it in the paper. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Oh, NERN says the interviewer, Stephanopoulos, it wasn't really about the last word. It was about preventing JD Vance from being able to defend himself and or Tom Homan. Okay, that's all that it was. And then if you get talking too much, then you might hear something about somebody else that he don't want you to know. It's so phony. But anyway, Kamala's still around. Okay. And her olive green pantsuit, she learned from the best. Hey, I wonder if Kamala and Hillary share clothes. What do y'all think, huh? Because that right there appears to be, kind of like 2009-ish Hillary Clinton. Let's watch some of this.
Folks, you have less because of people who have even less than you. Let's be clear about what he is doing to monetize this presidency for himself. Let's be clear about the fact that he is in many ways compromising national security when he is taking a plane from a foreign government. You might call it a luxury jet, I call it a Trojan horse. That's what con men do. But this con man happens to be president of the United States, making decisions that are in such a tremendous way injuring the people of our nation and our standing around the world.
Can you imagine if she was the president? Can you imagine that? I mean, good grief. Good grief. And this is what they put out. This is their little sizzle reel they put out. And she's speaking so poorly in the sizzle reel. So what if she was actually giving the speech on stage? The cackling, all of that.
I'm so happy you're here. Will you take a picture with me? Come on,
You called yourself a joyful warrior in your campaign. How would you describe yourself right now?
I'm still a joyful warrior.
Okay, yeah. I would not want her to be the president at all.
It is.
So here is Kamala about Columbus Day. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna show that. This is an old video. I ain't gonna show that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show it. This is an old video though, because she got the seal right there. This is where she was in the White House.
An honor, of course, to be with you this week as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas.
Just not very good. That was the best they could do. And they say, you know what? She could be the president if she ran again. How? How? If you see this face delivering the speech during a time of war, a time of crisis, would you feel confident that she would be able to get anything accomplished? Do you think she could go negotiate Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, MBS in Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman? It ain't really there. Now, here's a more recent video because I know Joe Biden got cancer, and that would have been bad if you got a sitting president that's getting radiation therapy. But here she is when asked about if she talked to Joe Biden.
I want to get to some news that just came out today with President Biden. His spokesperson said that he is going to now start doing radiation for his prostate cancer. Have you talked to him about it?
I called him earlier.
Mm-hmm. How's he doing?
I have not talked to him. I just left him a message after I heard the news. I was otherwise on the event at the event. I think Joe Biden is a fighter, and that is what I told him and left him a message. He's a fighter, and he's going to fight this, and we're going to hold him up and pray for his recovery and for his strength and for his family.
You write about him a lot in the book. Have you talked to him about the book?
Yes.
Yeah. What did he say?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on. It's just you and I.
Yeah, right.
Madam Vice President, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Okay. Now, first of all, bro, what is going on here? You looking like a Key and Peele skit, a whole skit with the funny beard and is that a wig? Like, what is happening with our people on television? Let's bring back the old days of the guy in a suit, clean shave. This is CBS. Let's bring that guy back. This right here, I can't do nothing with it. Okay, I can't do a thing with it. And do you guys think she has spoken to Joe Biden at all? At all? Since the White House exit? Do you guys think she has spoken to Joe Biden at all since the White House exit? I don't think so. Remember how much he appeared to hate her? Remember that? Hold on. I gotta. They did not like her. Joe Biden nor Jill, they did not like Kamala. When she said she called him and left a message, that was a lie. And then when she said she talked to him about the book, that was a lie as well. I ain't gonna tell you. That's like when you were in school and you would ask somebody a question and they said, don't worry about it. They don't know the answer, but they don't want to tell you that because they don't want to appear to be dumb. That's what she did. Okay, hold on. Look at this face right here. Look at this face. They don't like her. They didn't talk to her that much when she was in the White House. And now that she's gone, they're gone, they don't talk at all. When Joe Biden and Jill saw President Trump after Joe was done, Joe had a big crazy smile on his face. Kool-Aid smile. Cheshire cat, ear to ear. Hold on. Ear to ear. Oh yeah, here we go. Look. So you see that right there, right? This is them. This might have been inauguration. I don't know when this was. This was probably sometime toward the end. Now, here is Trump, Joe, and Jill at the end. Big smiles. Cheese. Yay. I'm with President Trump. Big smiles. This is at the end of Biden's term and when Trump came in, right before that. But when it comes to Kamala, and look, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris fuming at Trump inauguration. What are they fuming at? Sitting next to her? That's what it is. She has not spoken to this man at all. That's the reality. So yeah, shout out to them and shout out to this dude right here with the funny hair.
That he is.
If you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up. Jasmine Crockett, I gotta show her a little bit. Her 15 minutes of fame has become a few weeks of fame. But here she is talking about the government shutdown. Now, the government shutdown, you got to have 60 votes to pass things to prevent the government shutdown. So we don't have 60 in the Senate on the right. That's context. Let's watch.
Right now that there is a debate about funding the government. I've been a little bit confused because Republicans, last time I checked, are in control of the House of Representatives.
You ain't
They're
confused.
in control of the Senate, and then the president signs the bill. Okay, but I've heard people suggest that Democrats somehow have the ability to shut the government down. So can you please educate the people on what's happening?
No, you are not confused.
Okay, all right.
You are a
Thank you.
lawmaker. You understand how this works. And, Republicans don't know how to count. But here's the thing. When you're in a legislative body, you control everything. So if the government shuts down, it's on y'all.
Right now that they're...
Okay, again, you got to have 60. If Republicans don't have 60 senators in Congress, we don't have enough votes by ourselves. We got to have you guys on the left to join us. The Democrats got to join us, at least partially. If Democrats are locked up and say, no, we're not going to go, then the government shuts down. We can all be on the same page as Republicans, but it's not enough. We got to have Democrats as well. So that was just a lie. It was a lie. But that's what they do. And they go to these podcast platforms or whatever, and they say things, and it kind of just goes unchallenged. It goes unchallenged. All right. Now, just a quick aside before we go back to it. This is the Obama Library being constructed in Chicago. What do y'all think? Are you liking this? What do you think it looks like? Do you think it'll add to the scenery? What I see when I look at this is a penitentiary, something out of Soviet Russia, something that looks like it could be used for a jail in the future. Even though it might not be right now, in the future it could be. Again, that's a presidential library. That's Obama's presidential library in Chicago. What do y'all think? Big rocks, little rocks. That's what I see. A big rock that has been carved up with some little rocks around it. I don't, it's not a beautiful piece of architecture. It's not a beautiful structure. Some of y'all might like it. Y'all might say, hey, I like that. This little stained glass on the back, that's a nice feature. Maybe you like it. It's like a fort tower, a bunker. Hold on. A Borg cube, Tower of Babel. Yeah. The Rock. A portal to hell, brutalist. Yes, very brutalist. Did they start saying years ago? I'm not sure when they started. Hold on. Obama Presidential Library. When was that? When did they start construction? I'm going to just get off of that right now. But when did they start construction? 2021. 2021. And it's expected to be open in 2026. So we'll see. We shall see if they're going to be on time with that or not. All right. But there you go. Look at that view right there. And it's kind of like off center as well. Like you got property right here that's been raised. And it's not center of, it's center, I guess, to the street. It's you know, it's a continuation of the street, but it's not center in the property that I'm looking at right here. I don't know. It just ain't really, I can't do nothing with it. But hey, if you like it, I love it. It's fine. It's totally fine. All right, let's keep on going here. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Oh, Stephen A. Okay, I got to talk about Stephen A. Because Stephen A. was talking about Jasmine Crockett and got in trouble. But it ain't nothing, though. And it's a little bit of cussing right here.
It's so.
These podcasts, one thing about these podcasts that I mentioned that I've noticed is that you don't always have a smart person in the room. You know, a lot of black podcasts like this, like black leftist podcasts, are anti-intellectual. And if you are a black smart person on these kind of podcasts, the black leftist podcast, you're considered to be the Uncle Tom. Now, when I go on black conservative podcasts, we're all intellectual, we're all about reading and educating and knowing what the reality of the world is. But a place like this, with one of the hosts who got found out to be a transformer, not sure, he wasn't a transformer, he was a download brother. He had a wife and children, and then got caught in the hotel room with them bodybuilding white dudes, just like Justice Smollett. And this guy could have been the governor of Florida. Thank God he lost and DeSantis won. But anyway, here is a podcast featuring Tiffany Cross, formerly of MS-13 DNC, talking about Stephen A. Smith. A little bit of cussing, so please, little kids, cover their ears.
So disheartening to me. It's frustrating, one, because anytime we speak on this, it's like we, man haters and all this. But I feel such confidence in black men. I've never bought into the idea that all these black men are voting for Trump. Like, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. We're pretty much in line with each other. What you all are saying is no, they are, and the data shows that there have been inroads among black men. I want to ask why, because it is frustrating to me, and it feels heartbreaking, to be honest, because we are impacted by this system as well. It's not a matter of who's impacted worse. We're impacted differently. We sit at the intersection of being black and being women. And so when men are frustrated with this system, it feels like they fight us. And I would put Stephen A. Smith in that category too. I'm mad at y'all for having joy. I'm mad at y'all for having success. I'm mad at y'all for surpassing us on college campuses. And so it's a small sect of men that are so angry and hurt that they're willing to align with the people who oppress us. What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of black men. Why aren't black men right now saying Stephen A. Smith. We banned him. We not listening to his podcast. We're not watching his show anymore. That's what black women do. We organize.
But this. Do you ask the question why?
Yes. Tell me why.
By the way, I love the usage of adjectives.
I'm sure I messed it up somewhere.
Okay, so there was a lot there. There was so much there. First of all,
it feels
people like this get to talking and act like they know something, but she didn't know anything. Tiffany Cross has been on TV before, was given the show for 4 years on MSNBC, but she's not been able to do anything beyond that. Stephen A. Smith is everywhere. He's on TV shows, he's on podcasts, he's on ESPN, he's doing everything that he can do. And he has a big audience that follows him because he's talented and he's intelligent. Okay. They're talking about Stephen A. becoming the president. Now, I don't know about all of that, but when people say that about you, it's because you have something that others don't have. That's why he has a big following. You don't like what he says because you don't understand what he's talking about. So it's got to be a bad person because you don't understand it. You think you know, but you don't know anything. You got this boy right next to you. Okay, look, you got the LGBT in there who guys like this are not leaders. Bakari, I think that's Bakari Sellers, not a leader. You just a eunuch, basically, and you have basically your mama controlling you. Look at the body language. See, look, hold on. Look at the body language. Playing with his finger and stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? This is not masculine male energy. And again, the co-host got caught with some boys in the hotel room. We're not dealing with masculine men. We're dealing with basically women and women in men's bodies. Where's the male leadership? Stephen A. has that. And because you guys don't appreciate that and you don't understand it, you got to attack it. Now, let me go to what Stephen A. Smith said. Then I move on and keep rocking and rolling. All right. And let's throw it on.
This educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with AOC. Listen, you want to put Jasmine Crockett, AOC, any of these dimwits front center, go ahead. It works for us because, first of all, for Fox, it works in a few ways. It works in two main ways. Let me explain. The first way it works for a cable news station like Fox is when you bring a Jasmine or somebody like that on, even if she's not on the actual platform giving an interview, you show a clip, you show something like that, it'll get attention. Okay, because she always goes viral because people are entertained by watching her. So they win that way from the ratings, and then they win because they help conservatives when Jasmine Crockett is the face of the Democratic Party. Because we see how silly she is. So it helps us in two different ways. It helps Jasmine Crockett, I suppose, who's able to go travel and get speaking engagements to get money that way. She is basically a propagandist, Joseph Goebbels of the Democratic Party, not a lawmaker, just doing the speaking engagements. So it works for her and it works for us, but it doesn't help the Democratic Party because it can't really get any kind of steam behind somebody for 2028, aside from a Gavin Newsom. And Gavin, he's going to be Gavin, once we see him talk a lot more, is going to be weird. It's going to kind of be like almost how Ron DeSantis was. And I like Ron DeSantis, but when Ron DeSantis ran for president, he wasn't totally confident up there. And Gavin, with him, he may have confidence, but it's going to look crazy. You're going to see a guy like this complexion. Hold on, you see that White House back there, the lower part? He looked like that, like a mauve. You got a mauve complexion on screen doing all this jazz, legs crossed. People are going to say this guy's weird. For California, Gavin is totally fine. But for the rest of the country, they're going to see this dude looking like a space alien. Imagine you have an untouched territory of people, and then the British should pull up, and they got on powdered wigs and makeup and high heels and bloomers on. They'd be like, what is this? That's how Gavin Newsom looks to us. To the English, that attire looks totally fine. But to untouched people who don't know anything about this, it looks crazy. What we're going to see in 2028, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I am so excited. 2026, really, they're going to start putting them out there. So I can't wait. It'll be before you know it. Okay, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Alec Baldwin. Okay, I got a question for you guys about Alec Baldwin. Remember the story I covered last year? Just last year now. It wasn't 3 years ago, 5 years ago. This is last year, 2024. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's his fault that he shot and killed Helena Hutchins on the set of the movie called Rust? Let me give you the background if you don't remember. Now, Alec Baldwin was an actor and producer on the movie Rust. It was his show. It was his operation to run. He was in charge of the operation. He was the guy who made decisions. Okay, we're going to use a different crew out here in New Mexico to save money. We're going to get that armorer who had previous issues on other sets and who had issues on the set of Rust before the fatal incident. This is an Alec Baldwin operation. So Alec Baldwin is practicing for a scene. Again, he's an actor and a producer. He's practicing for a scene in which they got to shoot a gun. Now, on these movies, you have real guns that have blank ammunition, or it should be blank ammunition. The problem is that they were plinking with the guns in between takes. And if you know what that is, they were taking the guns, putting live ammunition in it, and shooting beer cans, stuff like this. The armorer allegedly was mixing live ammunition with the blank ammunition because of the plinking and the horsing around on set. There shouldn't have been any live ammo on the set because you shouldn't actually be shooting anybody, from what I would be able to. And if you're going to have live ammo, please make sure that it's separate away from the blanks. Anyway, Alec gets handed a weapon from the armorer, and it has live ammo in it. He points the gun at Miss Hutchins, the cinematographer, and he shoots it. She gets shot and dies. The other, I think it was a director, Joe Sousa, got shot, but he didn't die. He beat the case. No jail time, no nothing. The charges were dismissed. First, he got like involuntary manslaughter. The charges were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they could not be brought back again. The armorer got 18 months in prison for involuntary manslaughter. Okay. Do you think that's his fault or an accident? Y'all let me know. Was the shooting his fault? Now, I know I may have poisoned the well by my description, but I'm just telling you what it is from my point of view. But if you guys remember this story, and from what I told you right now, what do you think? I think that Alec Baldwin has a history of just doing whatever he wants to do. When you're in Hollywood and you're famous, it's like, you know what? I do whatever I want. I'm going to just run this red light. I'm going to just get high behind the wheel of a car, do whatever I want. I'm going to shoot people, get away with it, all this, that, and the third. I think that's what he is into. That's what he does. Okay. Now, breaking news. A lot of y'all saying his fault, white privilege. Hey, I don't know if it's white privilege. I think it's just rich, famous Hollywood privilege. Them lawyers, listen, them lawyers he had probably came into that little rinky-dink New Mexico courtroom speaking Latin fluently. I mean, they had no chance. They probably got steamrolled by his lawyers. But he most certainly should have been held accountable for that. And since he wasn't, it just kind of follows a pattern of him never being accountable. Okay, you got this that happens. It's not my fault. It's their fault. That happens, and this happens, and this happens, and that happens. So this accident, he said he was cut off, but he was not cut off. Here's the here's a dash camera from the vehicle in question. Dump truck, I believe, garbage truck.
See only here on Newsmax. We've just obtained exclusive dash cam video showing the moment actor Alec Baldwin crashed his SUV on the east end of New York's Long Island. The video is from the front-facing camera on a commercial truck. You're seeing the truck here making what's believed to be a legal right turn, and then it slows down.
Seconds later, Baldwin's SUV is seen hitting a mailbox and a tree off to the right side of the truck. The actor, an outspoken Trump hater, claimed on social media that he was driving his wife's Range Rover with his brother Stephen Baldwin in the passenger seat.
So, like I said, what it looks like is he was trying to pass him on the shoulder. He was trying to pass the truck on the shoulder over there. And I was looking at some comments on social media, and shout out to the women drivers, to the women drivers. Hey, if you are a woman driver and you're a great driver, shout out to you. We need more of you, because a lot of the comments came from women drivers. Oh, well, the truck did cut him off. He was just trying to pass him. We see this road right here. Okay, let's just do a little bit of, for the non-English speaking CDL holders especially, listen up. Hey, if you don't speak no English and you have a CDL, listen to me right now. You get in a crash course, no pun intended, in driving on the road in the United States of America. Okay, first of all, we drive on the right, not the left, so don't go the wrong way. But beyond that, this is a 2-lane highway. You have 1 lane right here. See the car coming this way, the opposite way, and 1 lane right here. The yellow in the middle is a median. Okay, now on some 2-lane highways, you have a double yellow. Some of you got a single yellow dotted. If it's dotted, if it's dotted, you're able to go past somebody in that lane if the coast is clear. So, for example, if you're riding in the right lane, somebody's going slow, it's at night, you got a clear straightaway, you merge to the left onto oncoming traffic because there ain't no traffic coming, and you go up and around the car, and you good. But that's not the case right here. And if it was the case, you got to pass on the left with no cars coming. The solid white line means you cannot be over there. If you could be over there, first of all, it'd be obvious. It'd be another lane right there, and it would be a dotted white. A dotted white represents another lane next to the lane you're in, going the same direction in traffic. If you're over there on the shoulder, you're not supposed to be over there driving. That's not for driving.
Hitting a mailbox.
So look, the truck was probably going to pull right into this little lot right here, into this house. Okay, you see the driveway right there. He was going to pull in right there, get some more garbage, or on the side of the road, get some more garbage. And I'm sure they had the hazard lights on, because when you behind a dump truck, they got to make frequent stops. So you already know not to be right up on them. What he did was try to zoom around him, because he was not trying to be stuck behind a dump truck, constantly making stops like that. That's just an impatient person who feels like they could do whatever they want to do. Okay, that's what that was. And because he feels like he's never held accountable, he does whatever he wants, it made sense in this world to do stuff like that. Now, look, I'm going to play this video again. I told y'all, listen, in my video, I said it was not my house. You're going to hear that beep again. And, of course, I've been on live for about 2 hours now. You've not heard one single solitary out-of-the-way beep at all. No smoke detector, fire alarm, nothing. No crickets, no butterflies flapping, nothing. No birds chirping. Anyway, watch.
But this morning I was in this car accident.
And I'm sorry for the RP to the headphone users.
But this morning I was in this car accident. Guy cut me off in a truck, big garbage truck. I mean, a garbage truck the size of a whale. I've never seen a garbage truck. It must have been something commercial for like taking away material from construction or something. It was the biggest garbage truck I've ever seen. Anyway, I won't go into the details now and bore you, but to avoid hitting him, I hit a tree. I hit a big fat tree. and crushed my car, my wife's car. I crushed my wife's car. I feel bad about that, but it's all fine, and I'm fine, and my brother's fine, and blah, blah, blah. Congratulations to everybody on the film festival. Thank you to the East Hampton Police Department, the town police department, for coming to my aid. They came in and we filed a report with them. Officer Gerken is his name, Gerken. Lovely guy. And there was another gentleman there, I didn't get his name, but Officer Gerken from the East Hampton Police Department. As nice as can be and as pleasant as lovely guy. And there was another gentleman there, I didn't get his name, but Officer Gerken from the East Hampton Police Department.
See that right there, that at that point, you know all you need to know right there. You a multimillionaire, been in Hollywood for forever, since what, the 80s, Beetlejuice back then. And you have a smoke detector chirping. Like I said in my video, someone probably told him, hey, Alec, you want to change the battery and smoke detector? I'm Alec Baldwin. I do whatever I want to do. I'm Alec Baldwin. I do whatever. You can't tell me anything. I'm Alec Baldwin. Stupid. He don't even hear it. See, something ain't right. A white guy at his age with that, you don't, come on now. What's really going on with you, sir? Hey man, lock this dude up just on GP, just because that right there, the beeping, that was like the icing on the cake. For that alone, hey man, I'm a 25 to life off the rip. Like, what is going on with this guy? Anyway, speaking about what's going on with this individual, let's look at Letitia James. We know about the mortgage fraud situation in Norfolk. Letitia James, you said that was your secondary residence in Norfolk for real. Anybody could see what was going on. You rented that property out to your family member. That's where your family were living at in Norfolk. Okay, and the name sounds familiar. These names sound real familiar. Hold on. I got to see that right quick. Hold on. Okay, so she was accused of housing absconder niece in her Virginia home. That's a niece right there. 36-year-old, I forget her name. But the niece had a warrant in North Carolina or something crazy like that and was on the run and was not seeing about the warrant. Letitia, you have an investment property that your niece was living in, probably not paying no rent. It was not your residence at all. When you said that on your application for a mortgage or whatever, you lied. You prosecuted people for that same thing, so it's not a nothing burger. See, it can't be rules for thee and not for me. It can't be that. Hold on. It can't be rules for thee and not for me. You prosecuted people for the same thing that you are being charged with right now. So, hey, it is what it is. Now, this is her at the Zoran rally. Hey, you know what? I really pray for New York City that Zoran comes in and doesn't really just destroy your way of life, but it doesn't look too good. So y'all got to deal with it. But here is Letitia defending herself at a Zoran rally. Okay, we got the Black Power fist in the air. Look at me, I'm standing strong. Trump can't hurt me. Trump can't defeat me. That's what that is.
I love you. I love you. Thank you.
All right, there we go. So that's pretty much that. I thought it was more than that. She's just out there saying thank you. Okay. I guess the whole thing is I'm standing strong. Trump can't do nothing to me, whatever. But all of what's happening right now is totally her fault. Now, speaking about Zoran, the moron, here is part of his plan for New York City. This is why I say, hey, y'all buckle up in New York because it's about to get real ugly real quick.
The jail population of Rikers has increased since Eric Adams has come into office by more than 1,000 additional incarcerated New Yorkers. And what is quite staggering to me is that we know that we can reduce that jail population to less than 4,000. I mean, Vital City had an article about a number of different proposals that could reduce it to 3,700. And some of this also just has to look at the average stay on Rikers in the 90s was 50 days. Now it's more than 100. There are more than 1,500 people on Rikers who have been held there for more than a year. So I do think many of the reforms that have to be made are also reforms around the court system and ensuring that people are actually having speedy.
So he wants to free prisoners. I think the people that are on Rikers Island, the prisoners who are there for a reason. Okay, and it's not a bad thing that the population has increased by 1,000. I think those 1,000 that have been added need to be there. We've seen people in New York City who should be locked up, who are not locked up, who go out and commit heinous acts. The guy on the subway platform, what was that? Jordan Neely, remember him? The guy who died because of the little whatever from Daniel Penny. This guy was very well known to local authorities. This guy was the top 50 homeless people that needed help, mental help. He had a long history of assaulting people, men, women, it didn't matter. So guys like that are in jail right now, I would imagine. So if Zoran gets in there, it's just more soft on crime stuff. Okay. Did you guys see what happened about Big Balls? Edward Kornstein. Shout out to Edward Kornstein. Hopefully I said his name right. So the judge failed to prosecute the two 15-year-olds who beat him up. Now, somebody was trying to joke, oh, it was just 15-year-olds he got beat up by. Listen, when I was 14, I was the same size I am right now. I was actually bigger. I was a little bit shorter. Like right now, I'm 6'3". At 14, I am 6 foot tall and 250 pounds. You could not beat me in a fight. If I was to fight you for real, you couldn't beat me because I'm just too big. Unless you were bigger than me or you were like a trained fighter, you couldn't beat me. And that's just me by myself. So what if it's two of me? Because like my best friend was like 2 inches taller than me. I had friends in high school where I was a short guy. I remember I was in the vehicle riding with one of my tall friends. He's 6'8". My other friend's 6'7". I'm a little guy at 6'3". I don't know how we got in a little sedan, but we made it happen. The point is, what if it's two of us at 15 years old, that big, that strong, brainless, mind of a child? You have no chance. If you're talking about a fight, you're only able to like shoot out of the situation. So it don't matter how young they are. But anyway, the judge let him off the hook. Nothing. No problem. No nothing. Okay. And hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Big Balls. Yeah. It was an attempted carjacking. I believe rehabilitation. I don't believe in punishment. Okay. That is what's going on. So look, here we go. Washington Post. Let me get a verified source. Trump says probation for teens charged in Doge attack is terrible. The senseless crime must be stopped, said Edward Kornstein, a.k.a. Big Balls, who was beaten during an attempted carjacking that caught the president's attention. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. In Virginia, you could be tried as an adult at age 14. I'll say that one more time. In Virginia, you could be tried as an adult at age 14 because they already know, especially with guys that was like me. When I'm 14, and if I was to fight you at 14, you're not going to succeed unless you are a fighter, a trained fighter. I was not a trained fighter. If you know how to do all the extra stuff, you will beat me up. But just pure strength, and they know that, and they know that guys my age at that time were violent, shooting guns. 14 years old, you go into the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. DC, I don't know what it is, like 21. They're not really serious. And the problem with that, when you're not serious about fighting crime, you're going to have a lot more of it. And that's happening in places like Memphis and Chicago and whatnot. Okay, Atlanta, some of that's going on. Matter of fact, let's look at someone from Atlanta talking about, hey, Trump, please bring the National Guard. We need you out here. All right, let's go ahead and throw this on the screen right quick. ATL, National Guard, I'm with it.
This message is for Team Trump and the National Guards. Come to Atlanta. Come to Atlanta. Come to Atlanta next. I know y'all done cleaned Memphis up. I see so many videos of the Memphis motherfuckers happy. And as a homeowner, as a working man, as an entrepreneur, come to Atlanta. I beg of you. Get these YNs off these streets. Get these water boys off these streets. Come on. Because these males ain't doing shit. These motherfuckers ain't doing shit, Trump. Come to Atlanta. National Guard. Come on. Get these young niggas out of here. Get these YNs out of here. Come on. Come on. National Guard, I see the work you doing in Memphis. I'm not one of them niggas. I'm a black man. I'm not a nigga. I'm a black man. I ain't like these other. I don't give a fuck about all that what the niggas say. I care about me walking outside. Well, walking my dog without having to walk with a goddamn pew-pew. Bring Atlanta back. Bring old Atlanta back. Get rid of these YNs and these single mom raising them. So let's do it, Trump. Bring the National Guard to Atlanta and send them motherfuckers right down there by the goddamn Mercedes-Benz Dome. Let them sit right there all through West End. Stay on up through there, all through West End by the Krispy Kreme. Right there. Park it right there by the West End Mall. Get them all. Get them.
Yes, I agree with you, sir. 100%. Right by the Mercedes-Benz, the brand new, beautiful stadium they built. Oh, if you're not gone to Atlanta recently, you got to go. Atlanta, I love it. It's the best. But there are some YNs. Y'all know what that stands for. Okay. Y'all know what that is. Water boys. If you don't know what that is, when you go to Atlanta, especially like inside the city, Midtown, they known for being right there on Spring Street. What happens is when you are on certain intersections, you got these young 15, 18, probably younger than that, teenagers, young black men, teenagers, trying to sell you water, trying to sell you anything. You don't interact with these people. Do not interact with them because they could rob you easily. Like I seen people that are newbies to Atlanta having the guy come up to the window, roll the window down, and they're talking to him, and they'll ask for money for a water. Okay, and then the whole idea is you give them a big tip or something like they're just begging for money, basically. Now, sometimes what they'll say, the people in the car, they'll say, I don't have any cash. They say, hey, we take cash out. Give me your phone. Give me your phone. Do not give them your phone. Because, first of all, if you get the phone back, which you probably won't, they're probably going to go on your cash app and take everything you got. Okay, they get themselves $10,000 and then that'll be it. I saw a TikTok of a girl crying, talking about, they took all my money. Don't give them your phone. Do not talk to them. Keep the windows rolled up and eyes straight ahead. Think of them like bums on the street. Can I get $1? Man, look, I don't know what $1 is. No say. No hablo inglés. How about that? Let's go to Memphis.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it's true time. I was against all.
Hold on, before I continue, someone says I'm the wrong skin color for Atlanta. There are a lot of people down there of all nationalities. It's an international city. You'd be surprised. Go down there, you'll see it. But there is the YN element that exists. But when I'm down there, I steer clear of the YNs and of the LGBT. Midtown, like that's pretty much where it all happens. I'm good on Midtown and the West Midtown, which is the West Side. I'm good.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it's true time. I was against all, pretty much everything that was coming towards Memphis. I was against this National Guard, all these different police units, all this military, all this shit. I was against all this shit coming to the end, right? Especially when I was the one learning shit about Memphis and how the crime been down 25% than it has in like hella years and shit. Like Memphis been doing good. We just had the most peaceful summer in a long little time. Just for these folks to still come with this shit. I was against this shit, bro. And then I seen the numbers after the first week of rounding up niggas. These folks then got 16 convicted murderers off the streets.
16 convicted murderers off the street 1 week.
1 week.
1 week.
Black people. I know there's a lot of Memphis folks talking about all the niggas gone now and they over here, the police pulling over all the good hard-working people. Hey, if that was the case, I'm sorry. But I can't wholeheartedly say they doing a bad thing now that I just seen them numbers, bro. I'm gonna just be honest. And I'm a real Memphis nigga. I love my city. I love once again, nigga, this where I'm at. As I wait on the motherfucking bus.
So yeah, you get the idea. He's like, look, if you got pulled over, whatever, okay, I'm sorry, maybe. But look, they're doing a good job. 16 murderers off of the streets. The streets are safe. I can breathe. It's better when the National Guard is here. So why would anyone want them to stay away? Make it make sense. If you think it's because they're racist, that's not enough. You got to give me a better reason for that. Here's a pastor from Memphis saying, echoing the sentiments of the young men we just saw. A pastor, we got the young guys, old guys, the little kids, women, everybody saying the same thing. Who are the ones against it? Leadership, Democrats, leftists. Watch this.
Calling for the National Guard since 2023, when we had the mass shooting on Beale Street. Mm-hmm. There were hundreds of young kids on the street, as you will recall, and 8 of them were shot. At that moment, I just felt like we need something extra. Mm-hmm. I called for the National Guard. I approached both mayors. It was Strickland at the time and Lee Harris. Each of them thought it was not time yet. Apparently now the time has come, and I think it's a good thing, Alex. I think we are 2 weeks late, as far as I'm concerned, in doing the things that we can do. Mm-hmm. We're 14 days in today, and I think that there are things that we should be doing regardless of the National Guard's presence.
So let's dive into this as deeply as we can here. Who's kind of leading the charge right now that you like? Who's kind of falling behind, kind of following? Who's collaborating?
Well, right now, nobody's leading per se, but the vacuum has created an opportunity for, naturally, the mayor of Memphis is already on board with the kinds of things that I'm talking about. And I think Mayor Young has a rare opportunity as a Democratic mayor in a Republican-controlled environment who did not ask for the Guard, but who is excited about working with them. That is one of the things that he, the mayor, and I have been discussing in the past, as well as with the Chamber of Commerce. Those are the kinds of things that I think collaboration is right there on the front.
But you and I both.
There we go. So yeah, shout out to Memphis for making it happen. Getting the Guard in here and getting the people who need to be out of the way. Now, this is going to be a man by the name of Ramiro Chavez, 22 years in the military, lawful immigrant. Here's his take on the whole ICE raid kerfuffle. Oh, they're attacking the Hispanics. They hate the Hispanics. Is it that, or are we just anti-illegal aliens, anti-crime? Let's watch.
This is my grandpa. His name is Ramiro Chavez. He's the one who is in the military.
22 years.
He was born in New Mexico. Your parents were...
My ancestry from my dad's side is from Mexico. My mother's ancestry side is from Spain.
What do you think about people saying that Trump is just going and picking up people who are Hispanic and deporting them?
I don't think that's true. I really don't. I mean, if you have proper identification, they're not going to bother you. They might stop you and have to be curious, but they're not going to take you in. And if they do, you'll be out in minutes. If you're a citizen of this country, there's many, many different types of people that are citizens here in this country. but they came in here legally. Hispanics don't have to worry about that. If they have their papers in order and all that stuff, they don't have to worry about it. I've been all over the world 3 times, Vietnam twice, 2 tours in Vietnam. I've seen a lot of things going on, different kinds of people, and this country it's good. I mean, it's the best country in the world, so Trump's just trying to keep it that way.
How do you think Trump is doing so far?
I think he's doing great, so.
Yeah, Trump's doing a lot better than Biden, that's for sure.
Whoa, without a doubt, man.
What did you think about me when I was a raging Democrat liberal?
Well, I sort of heard you and didn't pay attention. Everybody has an opinion, but you have to make your own opinion based on what you know and not hearsay. I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime, and I think I can tell you from experience that the United States is the best country in the world. And until Biden let all these people in here from all over the world, it was great. Now he's got to clean it all up. He's just doing what he has to do. Common sense things. Enjoy yourselves here in the United States, illegals. It won't be long before you go home.
And to all the Hispanics out there who are not illegal, what do you have to say, Gramps?
Well, all you have to do is just go on with your life. You know? I mean, you don't have nothing to worry about. Everything's going to be okay.
All right, Gramps, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye. Take
Bye,
care.
everybody.
Enjoy.
There you go. Right on. So, hey, shout out to Grandpa. Shout out to his military service out there in Vietnam, everything. Shout out to the granddaughter as well. Fantastic. And look, that's what I've been saying. It's like, if you're here legally, you're doing the right thing, you don't got nothing to worry about. It's okay. Not going to get deported, sent somewhere else. The media tried to make you think you're going to be deported if you're here legally and you speak Spanish or you happen to look Hispanic. They tried to use the Maryland dad, Kim Garcia, for that situation, for that purpose. And that was a whole big disaster. This guy was a mess. A human trafficker got caught on camera human trafficking, beating his wife, all kind of stuff. Gang tattoos on his hands. It was a mess. It was a crazy mess. But the reality is, if you're doing the right thing, you're here legally, don't even worry about it. You're good. You're good to go. You are good to go. Now, here is California. I just want to show some of this. ABL, somebody was asking me, that's you guys. Somebody was asking me why am I worried about California, because what happens to California often spreads like a virus. It's a virus that starts over there and it just spreads like a sickness to the rest of the country. And this is what Gavin Newsom would want for you in the future if he was to become the president. God forbid. Hey, knock on wood for that one. And they're saying, look, it was not like this 5 years ago. What's happening right now? Now, some say, oh, this is just certain neighborhoods, blah, blah, blah. I don't see anywhere it looks like that back in Virginia. You don't see that in Atlanta. You don't see that in most places, anywhere. Bad neighborhood, good neighborhood, or whatever. You got a whole condominium on the sidewalk. Like a makeshift. Look at this. You got a whole big houses on the sidewalk. Not just, these ain't tents. These are like advanced level tents. How you get tents that got rooms in it? Like, what's going on with that? Perfectly measured to fit the sidewalk. This is being done on purpose. That's California for you. That's Los Angeles. And here's more of these makeshift little tent houses, things they got. I wonder if they buy these on Amazon. Hey, can you purchase a perfect LA? There might be a listing for LA tents for sidewalks. Perfectly measured. You get little compartments in it, little pockets, hide your little meth pipes and your drugs.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Los Angeles, California, the heart of the Golden State where dreams come alive. From the bustling streets of downtown to the scenic views of Malibu, experience the magic of Los Angeles. Enjoy your journey in beautiful California.
I can fix that.
Look, it's like a shanty town. This dude got, look, did you see this? This dude got like a door. He got like a little workstation, a laptop, phone, little baby dog in there. You got all of that. It's like a little shanty town. Garbage can right here. Flooring in there. Well, that could just be the sidewalk. Who knows? And it's fine. You're not getting a ticket for camping, for loitering. And then, hey, if you want a house, hey, if you want to buy a house, watch this. This right here is $699.99. Almost $700,000. Almost $700,000. I'm not sure where, but it's California, Los Angeles.
We're back today. We're in the Rose Hill area of Los Angeles. This is sandwiched between El Sereno and Montecito Heights, basically. And we're taking a look at a fixer. It's this one right here. It's labeled as a 2-bed, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot home. And it's
this $700,000.
It's listed at $699. So let's take a look together. I really like that though. That's cool. Here's a bathroom. And I gotta duck a little bit. Here is one of the 2 bedrooms. Hillside views. Oh, you get downtown from here. Here's what used to be the kitchen. You have this room in the back. All right, here's the front yard. And then we'll make our way downstairs. Couldn't get in here, but it looks like they have another room. Something's.
Yeah, that's a different house right there. So you got one house on the bottom, one house on the top. Yep.
Under there. And there's that view of downtown.
That's a nice view right there. Nice little hillside.
There's some nice hillside views. A lot of new constructions in this area.
But yeah, $700,000 for that. And you got to put probably the same amount of money into it to rehab it, at least. That's a whole tear down. I wouldn't try to like rehabilitate that. I'm seeing black mold. I'm seeing all kind of stuff in there. Tear the whole thing down and then rebuild. You're going to spend up 1.5, 2 million all day long. Would you rent that, Alvin? Would you rent that? You're buying the land for sure. And I know, oh, it's Hillside, ABL. Well, okay. Try not being Hillside. Try being right in the ghetto in Los Angeles. It'd be the same kind of situation. Same situation. Anywhere in Southern California, buying a house, forget about it. Okay. Now, also on the left coast, you'll want to go to, if you want to stay on the left coast and you don't want to go to Los Angeles, you could go to Portland. Okay, how about Portland? And then this guy right here, he'll be your neighbor. This guy will be your neighbor. A naked bike rider. I ain't gonna show his stuff. He just got his little taco meat on the top sticking out.
It's about showing the vulnerability of like the cyclists, and really we're kind of like this time there's more about showing the vulnerability of our citizens. And you know, it's a peaceful protest, but none of us expected to be treated like we're here just exercising our First Amendment.
We should have no reason for President Trump to be able to call in the National Guard to our city that is not at war with itself or anything else. Like, stop playing videos of 2020.
The naked bike ride.
Okay, there we go. So they say it's all good. The naked bike riders and the pink haired ladies say, you know what? There's no problem in Portland. It's fine. You playing old videos. You're making us appear to be a bad place. But they live there and they don't understand what is going on. Same thing with LA. When you see in these massive, tiny houses that are masquerading as tents on the sidewalk, it's normal. People out in the open smoking crack is normal. Portland, Oregon, a bunch of adults riding their bikes naked outside, stuff just jangling everywhere is normal. The violence they experience, so-called protesters, it's normal to them. Oh, and before I get to some calls, I got a video of some of these paid protesters because that's really a thing. Okay, that's really a thing. Look, and one thing I always notice about these protesters is a nice, clean, crisp signs. These things are produced and they cost a lot of money. And you can see them right here all bundled up. So that tells you it's not organic. These signs are produced and delivered and put to a certain location. And then when the paid people go out there to protest, quote unquote, they just get the materials that's left for them and they go out there and march for a while, get their money, go home, or they stay on the road and do it the next day and the next day and the next day. That's how they make money. It's simple as that. It's not an organic thing at all. And again, you could tell by the signs.
Crashed a paid protester meeting, and this is part one.
Oh, we're having our little meeting. All right, guys, we're going to the paid protester meeting right now. All the signs are there, and they're discussing what's going to be happening at this protest. Okay. How's it going?
Hold on. I also saw a little flag right there. Is that a free Palestine? Is that what that is? Or Mexico? So one of y'all going to be the flag bearer out there with the big flag. You get the tank. Get the big tank out there because that flag does get heavy when you're trying to wave it. You get the flag bearer. Okay, that's for you, the biggest person. Everybody else, grab a sign, go out there and march.
How's it going? Is this where the protest is starting?
Yeah.
What's the plan for today?
Sorry, we can't really talk right now because we're setting up.
How come? How come you can't talk? How come you can't talk?
We're setting up a protest.
You're setting up?
Come back later.
Oh, so what are we discussing?
We talked to a press person.
Who's the press person?
I don't know right now, but I can find out for you.
Okay, I'll be here. So none of you guys want to say what you're protesting for?
You just got to talk to a press liaison. Sorry.
So you can tell it's a whole big meeting. It's organized and set up. So I remember like a few years ago, especially when we would say that it's all organized and set up, is paid for, it's not organic. We got a lot of kickback. But now we're seeing more and more evidence coming out that it is all set up, it's all organized, it's all paid for. George Soros and everybody else stoking civil unrest. And if you ask me, I think it shouldn't be legal to pay people to stoke civil unrest because you're trying to you're trying to spark a civil conflict between us and using your money to be able to do it. So if you are doing that for that purpose to stoke civil unrest and it's proven, I think you should be held liable for that action. But that's just me. What do I know? That's just me. What do I know? Okay. Now hold on. I got one more before we get to some calls. Juicy Smouye could not let it go. Listen, Juicy, you got caught hiring big bodybuilding Nigerians. They ain't had no accident. They big bodybuilding Nigerians to pretend to be white guys in the polar vortex of Chicago, talking about they poured bleach in your face. They tried to lynch you, and they said it's MAGA country. Sir, we have the evidence that what you said was false. But here he is all these years later, after the comedy specials, after the ridicule, after the shame, he still is not admitting that he did that. Okay, let's watch. I promise, let's watch. It's like, bro, come on, man.
I was accused of lying about an attack on myself. Even now, like it's still, it still bugs me. I'm so angry, like I wish I would have left before I did that interview.
Do you feel like you said more things than you wish you had wanted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I didn't say, I was walking one day and blah, blah, blah. No, I didn't say all of that. I don't know why I just can't do the tasks, and that's it. Like I'm tired of fighting about something that I didn't do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm over it. It was very painful, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life angry. I moved on.
I can't tell you moved on. How'd you moved on? You have not moved on. You still are right there. It's been years, bro. It's been years. How long? When did that happen anyway? Hold on. Juicy. Hey, if I search Juicy Smollett, it'll come up. Juicy Smollett incident. Okay. And it did come up. And that was 2019. January 2019, sir. January 2019. It's been years. Let it go. And no matter what you say, we're not going to be convinced that you didn't do that. We know you did that. And you can't sit there and tell us anything else. The Osandado brothers, they told on you, my friend. They said that they got hired by you. Okay, they from my village. They got the big muscles all over their body. We know you did that, sir. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got calls to get to. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Perfect timing, 706-406-3287. The number will always be in the description. And before we go to do that, we got super chats on deck. I'll read these and then get to the calls. Thank you to Comrade Kim SD, who says, YouTube is down all over the world. Reports from Australia, Denmark, Czech, etc. Thank you to Mauricio, who says, I'm sorry. Don't plants need carbon dioxide? Bill Nye told me. TJ Jizzle says, grabbing some knowledge while it's hot. Can we get some mosquito deletions in Georgia, please? Jane says, solar flares will cause Wi-Fi issues every October. The Forgotten Philosopher says, cows have more carbon emissions globally than cars. Monique Price says, it's nice to see a period piece that actually tries to represent figures faithfully. This week, they announced a remake of the classic Amadeus, but Mozart is mixed as woke all over it. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's like, okay, if you're going to do a period piece, make it be accurate a little teeny bit. Make it make sense. Like, okay, if you're going to do something about Martin Luther King, I'm not trying to see, hey, if you do a series about MLK, I don't want to see this dude as MLK. Okay, that even though he black, it's not really the same. Okay, I'm not trying to see him as MLK. That just ain't really it. And even David Oyelowo, I was kind of suspicious. That wasn't really my. I didn't like David Oyelowo in that role. It didn't really grasp me to have an African English dude play an African American prominent figure. But anyway, shout out to, and also Cynthia Erivo playing Harriet Tubman, but I don't want to get too deep. Thanks to Mauricio, who says Democrats hate when you solve their problems. Thank you to Mauricio, who says Democrats are the same racist party that created the KKK. We just call it BLM now. Thank you to Mauricio, who says, how drunk you got to be to look drunk? Hey, pretty drunk. Drunk as a skunk. Thank you to Mauricio again, who says, gold and housing are telling me that our dollar is crashing. Hey, man, we're going to see. If the dollar crashes, we all crash. We all crash together. So we'll see. Maybe California is the future, but we're trying to prevent that. We are trying to prevent it. All right, let's get to some calls here. The number to call again, 706-406-3287. And we turn my stuff on. There we go. We are rocking and rolling. Exactly. Jagular really says it's 20 degrees below zero. We're trying to get some footlongs. And he ate the sandwich, though. Juicy, you went outside in polar vortex, absolute freezing cold weather on foot, got a Subway sandwich and ate it with the rope on your neck. Now, if I was to get attempted lynching, I would not trying to eat my sandwich. That's not really on my mind. 678, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Logan, this is TJ Jizzle. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm well. I want to ask you a question. I have a statement, but I really want to ask you, how do we get past this? I really do want to address how, honestly, I don't think that we're playing fair. We're not playing fair, meaning we conservatives, we're not playing the same game. We have brought What did we bring? We brought ice skating shoes to the roller rink. And at what point are we going to realize that the Democratic Party is, while we may have, the presidency in the House, and, you know, we've really done some really good things, we don't have even an inkling of say in media or anything that would influence overall opinion. And I feel like what we're looking at, they're playing chess in a lot of ways. And I think 4 years is going to go by really, really quickly. And unless we make some changes with how the media is still being so skewed, I think we're still going to face in the next 4 years, an uphill battle, the likes of which I'm not sure that we're prepared for, because if you even look at things like the within what 1 year, AI is, if even less than that, I think it's going to be undetectable unless it has, a watermark. And how much will people pay attention to that when they see something, President Trump or someone saying a certain thing, a racist comment or something suspicious, that would make people want to, vote a certain way? How likely are they to believe it? I think they're going to be extremely likely to believe it. I mean, our media is not being held accountable. Look at what the Washington Post did. Did you read the article about the Hole in the Head Club?
I did not read that.
Okay, so the Washington Post, if I'm not mistaken, sir, put out a cartoon. And it was a prominent, it was earlier this week, prominent Republican lawmakers. The title of the cartoon was called The Hole in the Head Club. What exactly do you think they were referring to? I think we all know that as adults. And so when we're seeing things like that, that's just being blown off, oh well, it's free speech, for them it's free speech, but for us to say anything at all that they're being racist or inciting division, we are the ones who are vilified. I just think that I think we're on a shaky or a slippery slope, because I just don't think that, unfortunately, I love Trump, you already know, but I just don't think that we are doing enough to hold these politicians who raided his home, who, spied on him, his family, other political figures, Republicans. Why are we not? It just feels like we're not doing enough.
I understand
How do you?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I think that it's going to be a never-ending battle because, like I said before, at this point, it's good and evil, and that battle will never cease. It's always going to be ongoing. So they're going to do what they do. They're going to always try to defeat us, and we have to do whatever we can do to try to defeat them. I think they have the old school media, and we have the new school media. And the good part about that is a lot of the youth, which will be the future of the country, they're going to be more tuned into the new school media than the old school media. So we have that advantage. What we got to do is keep the advantage and not let them take that.
Facts. And yeah, we could use the National Guard here. In Atlanta. Yeah, the YNs are taking over. So yeah, we need them in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out for the call from TJ Jizzle. Always a great call. Fantastic. Yeah, we got to just, it's going to be a never ending battle. It's never going to stop ever. As long as I'm living, it's going to be an everyday thing every day, because good and evil is an eternal battle. Before I was here and after I'm gone from this earth in this life, there's going to be good and evil. It's never going to be an ending to it. And we got to just keep just trying to get better, trying to do more, trying to improve. That's it. And like I said, right now, our advantage is having the new school media. They have the old school media. But the youth, I think, are more tuned into what's happening with the newer media. The downside might be that the youth may not be as politically aware. They might not be as politically aware, but I think it's our job to get them on board. This is why Charlie Kirk was so important, because he was getting the youth on board. He was someone that the youth could look up to as a role model. Now, here's the question. Although Charlie is gone, do the left have anyone that can be like him? Like, who's going to be the person like Charlie on the left? Anybody? Anybody got any? Who do they have on the left who do they have on the left that the youth could look up to? Jasmine Crockett, who's older than me. AOC, who's a nut and about my age. Who is a young person that they have? They don't have anybody, as far as I know. Maybe they got some of these guys, Harry Sis and people like that, but that ain't really going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. Yeah, that's right, Golf and Guns. That's why they went ahead and did something to him. Kamala. David Hall, not even liked by his own party. He has some issues with his own party. They were exclusion, like they excluded him from certain things. They don't even really want to support David Hogg. Wasn't he like the vice chair of the DNC and then he got ousted or something crazy like that? They don't even like him. They eat their youth. And then they're wondering why the youth don't want to support them. It's not very hard. All they can do is try to make the youth ignorant through the education system, which is why when you get your kids going to K through 12, you got to be able to debrief them if they're going to class and they're learning certain things. You got to debrief them and tell them the reality. Because when they go to school, they're learning something that they probably shouldn't be learning, or that is potentially dangerous to them, for them to learn. And that's Charlie Kirk on the left. That's right, Mauricio. Kamala, Andrew Tate. But Andrew Tate is not on the left. Andrew Tate is not, he's more of a manosphere type of, they don't have anybody that's political. You understand what I'm saying? Like someone who will say, okay, vote this way, vote that way. They don't have anything. All they have is the old school media, and they're clinging to it like it is the last, they're holding on to that like it's that last piece of lumber in the Titanic. You understand what I'm saying? And by the way, you couldn't really fit two people on there because y'all both gonna sink and be cold. That water, if you never experienced cold water like that, you can't even really, you can't put it into words. Like that cold water will do something to you. Like try taking the cold shower and see how that feel. And multiply that by 1,000. Anyway, let's go 949. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, good evening, ABL. It's Marta over here in Menifee, California. Did you hear what LA did today? They decided. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It sounded like it was dead for a second there. In LA, the government, I don't know if it was in regards to, made the decision that if you're illegal and you need some kind of legal care, or if you need some kind of money, they're going to go ahead and give it to you.
Yeah, that's crazy, but that's surprising because, California going to be California.
God, yeah. So they declared a state of emergency. We're like, okay, so which county is next? It's crazy.
Now, does that only apply to the illegal aliens, or do the citizens get the opportunity to get that money as well?
Yeah, excellent question. No, it's only for the illegal aliens.
Very interesting.
So it's crazy. Yeah, you got to look it up. It's nuts. But yeah, I'm just kind of going over here going, hey, nobody else better give me ideas. Is San Francisco, Northern California going to jump on board? I hope it's definitely not Riverside's not going to jump on board. We're too conservative down here. But LA, my God, it's just that went to an all new low. When I first heard it, I started like, I don't live in LA County, but I'm so mad for the people that do have to pay taxes in LA County because they just got to be burning and thinking, okay, my house caught on fire and I can't get a dime from you, but you're going to give it to an illegal alien? Go figure that.
Totally crazy. Out of this world.
It is. I just had to tell you about it. I'm thinking, does he know about it, or am I going to share some information he doesn't know? But oh yeah, California is just every single day you turn on. I was watching. They were talking about it on Newsmax. So when I was listening to that, I was like, oh my God, what next? This can't be real. But yeah, so I had filed for what you call California unclaimed properties, and every state has unclaimed property, so you could have money out there if you check your name. But yeah, so it's supposed to be 180 days, and that was March, and I'm still waiting.
Wow.
So if those people are looking to get some kind of money out of the state of California as an illegal, good luck. They take forever to do anything, pushing paper, claim by claim. Good luck. But I just wanted to tell you that. Say hi, call in, say hi. It's been a hot minute. But, oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, J-Flo. Yeah, Sheriff Chad Bianco. Yes, definitely. But, yeah, Carl DeMaio, I pronounced his name, representative over here in California, is going to be having no on Prop 50, which I say, heck no. I just dropped off my ballot like not that long ago. Say and no to the Prop 50. So he's going to be having a meeting over in our next town, Marietta, to say no, and then also to collect signatures for the, voter ID. So let's pray that, we get no on Prop 50. All right. Good night, everybody in the chat. Good night, ABL. Thanks for taking my call as always. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, it's crazy out there. I think I did see something about that. I think I had a video queued up. I don't know where it went though, but yeah, if I can find that, I'll throw it on the screen where it's talking about people in LA having a state of emergency and then giving money to the illegal aliens. I might need to do a video about that one because that's crazy. But again, not surprising because it's California is what they do. California. But hey, meanwhile, you as a citizen, hey, live in that tent, live in that riverside or sidewalk side tent with different rooms in it. You live in there. Illegal aliens, hey man, whatever they need, they're gonna get. And that's just kind of how it goes. Okay, yeah, I saw one. It's about Oregon, though. This is what I saw about Oregon. Hold on, I'll play this right quick. Well, this is just not about state of emergency. This is just how much they're funding compared to what the police get. Take a look.
Is reportedly spending more in its budget on health benefits for illegal migrants than it sets aside for state police. Oregon officials expect to allocate $1.5 billion in combined state and federal tax dollars on a program that offers health benefits to illegal migrants from 2025 to 2027. Now, during that very same period, they expect to spend $717 million on the Oregon State Police.
So let's go back. 1.5 billion on healthcare for illegals within the from 25 to 27, 1.5 billion on illegal aliens, 717 million on the Oregon State Police. So you see what the priority is, right? You see what the priority is. Hey, but check it out. You get a tent on the side of the road. Enjoy it. Enjoy that. Oh, they're so beneficial, but they're taking our tax money to be able to do it. If they're so beneficial, if they're so helpful, then why can't they pay for their own health care? Why can't they pay for their own government benefits? Why are we the ones paying for it? You understand? That's the issue here. That's a big piece of the issue. Oh, and here is the other one that she was talking about. I did find that. California Democrat, state of emergency, giving out monies.
Breaking news now, LA County has declared a state of emergency over the immigration raids. The Board of Supervisors voted today. Board members say the raids are preventing people from going to work and forcing some businesses to close. The emergency allows the board to look at enacting an eviction moratorium and other protections for people impacted by the raids. And this news just coming into our newsroom. We'll, of course, continue to follow it.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. You have an issue on the West Coast, on the left coast. That's why I call it the left coast, because they're just leftists over there. They do the darndest things over on the left coast. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you live over there. I mean, I stuff like that would drive me crazy. And then on top of that, it's expensive. It's a mess. Okay, and hold on. I got like stuff happening right now. I want to show
Rivers.
She says AOC. I guess you get a town hall with her and Bernie Sanders. I don't know why they keep doing that with her and Bernie. I guess that's like the Santa Claus team. Maybe they get ratings for some reason. But maybe they want to try to run Bernie Sanders in 2028 and he'll be like 1,000 years old. But anyway, AOC says rivers were on fire because of corporations like was that Deloitte or Deloitte? I know I'm saying that wrong. But because of the company pouring chemicals into waterways. But that's not what they do. Hold on. Let's watch some of this.
Rivers in rural areas were on fire because of corporations poisoning the people who lived in those areas. Poor middle-class communities getting poisoned and dumped on by corporations like Deloitte and 3M, pouring chemicals into these places. And they want to call it a democratic priority. Rivers in rural areas were on fire.
But that's an accounting company, though. I'm sorry for the freeze frame, AOC. I'm sorry, but Deloitte, that's a chemical. That's an accounting company, not a chemical company. I mean, I don't know. That's AOC, and she could be your front runner in 2028. She could be right out there with Gavin Newsom, and that'll be how they do it. We'll see what it works. We'll see how it works. But they don't have anybody else. They don't have a choice. So they got to run somebody. They got to do something. They can't just do nothing. They can't just let society collapse. Well, maybe they want to. 859 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
All right. Hey, how's it going, ABL? What's up? I've just been working so hard, busting my ass, working out and such and such. I've been listening to the show. And I think it's kind of funny that they supposedly, unquote unquote, discovered the text messages from the Republicans, supposedly. Which, I mean, like, did they went on their, like, Call of Duty, message board? I was wondering about that.
Wait, what's the name? Gavin Wax had told Gavin Wax had snitched on the group, and he's the one that leaked it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of questioning it because it seems like very stereotypical kind of stuff that I would think that would be like, and it could be very altered or AI. So I'm very questioning that. If it's like very stereotypical kind of like supposedly Republican stuff, I'm questioning that. If it's like something like major, they're talking about like a major bill coming through that could affect everybody else and would like get rid of like abortion, certain healthcare, socialized healthcare, then I could be like, okay, fine. I could see that would be a plausibility. But none of them were like that. It was all a bunch of like 12-year-old like cursing and like bad behavior. Like I don't believe it. I highly doubt that's actually even real. That's just my personal opinion, because I mean, like, it doesn't seem very, I would say, too on the nose of a stereotype. It's something when the media wants to see. I highly doubt it. With AI these days, it's hard for me to question everything.
Yeah, but I think that if it was fake, then the people that were in it would have come out and said it was fake, right?
Well, that's true, but at the exact same time, people said some things online and completely forgot about it, like a couple months ago. And it could be some kind of crazy joke you heard from Dave Chappelle or Tosh.0. and they completely take that out completely out of context and promise me. I'm a person that's been taken out of context way out too many times. You get my point.
Right on, I got you.
And also, I'm surprised that Trump made a peace agreement with Hamas. I am so surprised by that. I thought that was hell froze over, man. But hey, I enjoy your phone call, ABL. I appreciate it. Luciferian Libertarian out. Enjoyed it. Hey, I get hitting that 420, and I'm just only that 420 and working out. Talk to you guys later. Much love.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
See ya.
All right, so yeah, shout out to him. But yeah, the chat wasn't fake. If it was fake, they would have said it. Like, nobody denied what was in the chat. Nobody did that. It was real. And the thing about it is, it don't even really matter. It's not even worth it to try and deny it, because they got you. And then the thing is, it wasn't that much in the actual chat that was really that serious. It was like edgy 12-year-old type stuff. I think what's happening, just as an aside, just from what I've noticed, is that people are a lot younger mentally than they were in the past. I'll put it to you that way. Some of these adults, whether they be left, right, whatever, some of these adults remind me of me when I was like 14. People were acting like, when I was 14, I was acting like some of these adults who were like 25, 26. That's why I say I'm old, because mentally I'm older than a lot of people. And you guys can relate. Like the Disney adults, you see people like this, you're 35 years old, but you're like 12 mentally. 818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
All right, Power Ranger Rex.
All righty.
Hey, Bill. So I wanted to talk about the house that was apparently for sale in Los Angeles, California here. God, that one needs to be bombed and destroyed and rebuilt and given to a black family. A lot of black families are being robbed by a lot of Latino, Hispanic crime, which nobody wants to admit. But that's exactly the problem. You know, black families are always left out in California, and they're saying, oh, everybody's so peaceful, and it's not. It's not people, but illegal piece of shit that run around like roaches.
You can't curse.
All over I'm sorry?
You can't curse on the show.
Oops. My bad. So there's a lot of illegal aliens that are tinted, and they shouldn't be in here. And a lot of cars that should be suspicious, and they're not taking it off the streets. That's the problem. The cops are not doing the job. The cops are supposed to do the job. I need to walk in and mount to the cops a million times, and on the way there, I got attacked. Serious trouble. Serious trouble. They're not making arrests that matter, and I told them to arrest these things. After I was attacked in October 2, for example, in my Street Fighter 5 Vega cosplay from Barcelona. And they don't do jack shit about it. That's the problem.
My man, you can't curse on the show.
Oh, did I curse?
Yes.
Look, more than that. Oh, which is trying to curse, but this is a kind of money. But I will try my best. But here's the thing. The alleyways and stuff are supposed to be really safe places. So when I go doing my own thing, it's like I'm getting attacked. And I'll call the cops, and the illegal alien was there, and then they didn't put him in prison. I was like, then why am I calling you fools for? And then they say, black folks are all, Skid Row. As if LA Central is supposed to be black central prime, but black folks don't even have any businesses. I wonder where the racism is coming from. It's not whites, it's not blacks, it's not Chinese, it's not Afghani. So I wonder who it is.
Hey, we pretty much put two and two together, man. But thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you, Bill.
All righty. Shout out to him. Hey, man, the beer is beering tonight, ain't it? Hey, it's one of them. You got one of the mugs that got the 3 X's on it. Shout out to my man, though. Shout out to him for the call. I appreciate him. But yeah, please don't curse on the show, please. I know I have hard enough time with these videos I be playing and people can't talk without cursing. I just wish that we could master that as a people, to speak without cursing. That'd be fantastic, because you can be hurt by more people and your message sounds a lot more, how can I say it? Your message sounds more credible when you're able to speak clearly without using curse words. But nothing against my man. I'm not trying to attack him. I'm just saying in general, that's just a word of advice from me to y'all. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. And no cusses in the chat either. Yeah, that's right. Because we got little babies watching. You know what I mean? I don't want to have somebody watching with their mama, and then it's like F. It's like, you know what I mean? That's not a very good experience. Paulo says, I curse less. I only use it for emergencies. That's funny. See, there we go. Just when a crack open for emergencies, a little hammer to bust open the fire hydrant. That's what the smoke, the fire extinguisher. That's what you need. Extra Ill says, when you talk to people who use 4-letter words all the time, you can't handle proper conversations. That's right. David says, Francis takes away from your message. It does. Dave says, I played golf the other day and I cussed. Well, I understand. In that situation. Okay, your shot is not doing what you need to do. Okay, your putting is not. So I understand that frustration. I really do. Shout out to the golfers out there. I need to go to the golf course real soon. Or at least talk golf or something. I need to go. I ain't been in a while. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and roll. I think that'll be a wrap for me tonight. I think that'll be a wrap. I'll be back live on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And shout out to you guys who were on the Instagram on last night. I really enjoyed that show. And if you don't know, I'm live on Instagram every Tuesday at 9 p.m.-ish to whenever. Soon thereafter, hour and a half, 2 hours, who knows? It depends on how I'm feeling. If I got people that's engaged. Again, Instagram, I'm live Tuesday nights. YouTube, I'm live Wednesday and Saturday. And I'm putting out pre-recorded content all throughout the week. I'm putting out content on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, if you want, okay, so for YouTube, I try to put out at least one regular video every day, the full length, because I get people that complain, ABL, I want the full length videos. I don't want no shorts. And then some just want the shorts. So what I do, I put shorts on YouTube, but a lot of my other shorts that you may not see on YouTube go on Instagram and Facebook. So if you don't have Facebook, get on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, get on Facebook for more shorts. But the regular videos will always go on YouTube regardless, period. And so will some of the shorts. But if you want more of the shorter shorts, go to the other platforms. They'll be on there. And of course, if you want to see some of my full-length videos on Rumble, the link for Rumble is in the chat. I think we're at like 1,940 followers on there. I don't really follow the account too much, but I do upload my full-length videos on Rumble all the time. So check me out there. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm still on TikTok, but TikTok sucks. They don't like me. I am too hard for TikTok, I suppose. They're anti-ABL on TikTok. I don't know what it is. I don't know if Winnie the Pooh got mad at me. I don't know what happened. Maybe I said something about Chinese Communist Party they ain't like. Maybe I got a bad social credit score over there, but they're anti-ABL on TikTok. But I am on all the other platforms, and I'm very, very active. All right. So, and the thing about YouTube also is that when you upload more than 3 times in the day, they don't send notifications. And then even if you kind of stay within the 3, they're kind of funny with it. It's weird. But when you're on Instagram, Facebook, it's more about sharing, especially Facebook. That's why I could put more of the shorts on there, and it's not really a length, or it's not really a limit. I don't know how some guys put out like 3, 4, 5, 6 videos a day, and they all get a bunch of views. I think that's artificial by YouTube, but that's a different story. I don't want to get too technical right now. So yeah, like the shorts, for whatever reason, Yeah, you like shorts. You like the short shorts. Okay, there we go. That's right, NKM. I'm way too. And the thing about TikTok is it's conservatives on there, but I'm too intellectual, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they don't like me over there. I get any kind of traction. It's always some kind of weird thing to try to do. It's so weird over there. It is so weird. I don't know how anybody posts anything over there. If it's something beyond basic stuff, because that platform is not built on that. It's not built on really deep thinking, in my humble opinion. I don't know. But shout out to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, my favorite. Twitter's like a newspaper. I love Twitter. That's like the new newspaper. Back in the day, you would have people like face deep in the newspaper, wherever they at. If they have time, they like this in the newspaper. And me, it's the same way with Twitter. The old paper was just that paper, but now you can read all papers at once with videos as well. It's amazing. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate you rocking and rolling. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting. Y'all know without you, there is no me. I couldn't do it without you. And thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. Y'all know this is not possible without you. Okay, I got one super chat here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, I can't afford the green dot card that some guy who said he was you asked for today, but I hope this buys you a coffee. By the way, I would like to declare a state of emergency in my wallet. I want money too. That's what I'm saying, right? Hey, let me declare a state of emergency in my ABL, ABLandia. I'm gonna create that and say state of emergency. And as a result, I want to extract tax monies from my oppressive state that surround me. I'm ABLandia. I'm being oppressed by Tennessee. I'm being oppressed by the U.S. government. Therefore, I want my monies right away. And if you don't give it, you're racist because you gave the illegal aliens money. I want my money as well. It is what it is. They're not part of the country. They're not citizens. They do whatever I want. And me as an ABLandia person, when I come out into your community, I'm illegal because I'm not part of your community. Therefore, I want money. Why not? And if you don't do it, you're racist. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. I'll be back on Saturday live, but I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.